Welcome to the Echo Oscar Delta podcast, where we talk to Navy EOD techs and hear the stories that they want to share. All ideas, thoughts, and statements are those of the guest and the host of Echo Oscar Delta, and not of Navy EOD or Navy as a whole. All right. Well, today we have Hart Holmberg on the podcast. Was Marine for how many years?
We'll say 20.
We'll say 20. All right.
I get paid for 24, so it's fine.
Nice. And it's going to be a little different, but I think what I'll do is actually turn it over to you for kind of that like 50,000 foot view of your career. And then we're going to dive into a different aspect today.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, I joined in 97 back when nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Life was chill. I did, I don't know, 2 MUs. So I got out 97, 2001. I was LAR, so light order reconnaissance. Drove a LAV around. It was pretty neat.
Nice.
And then got out, came a civilian for a little while. 2005, I re-enlisted. Just got tired of dealing with civilians. I was like, man, everybody wants some. I was a manager at Sam's Club at the time. And they're like, hey, like the color of my cake's messed up. Can you like give me a discount on it? And I was like, what? Or they figure out the Sam's Club system, which I probably shouldn't give away secrets, but there's a system. And they're like, hey, this is the last TV you got. And I'm like, how do you know? And they're like, because I know. And I was like, I want half off your like lowest price. And I was like, and I had to get rid of it. I was like, this is stupid. I don't like, I'm not fulfilling a dream here. So Came back in the Marine Corps, got denied twice, or denied once, came back in the second time, and went back as a LAR guy. 2008, I let move to EOD, went to school, so I just missed you.
Yeah.
I got down there November of 08.
Okay.
And then graduated like Labor Day weekend of 2009, and from then till I think I retired 2021. 20 or 21, I don't remember. It was so long ago. But yeah, within that, I did as a tech 2 MUs. Went to Afghanistan 13-1, so end of 2012, beginning of 2013. Stationed Okinawa, Maryland, North Carolina.
When were you in Okie?
2012 to 2014.
No kidding. I was there.
Yeah.
Around that time. I was
Oh boy. So you guys were elusive. Did you ever hear the Pacific EOD ball?
The Pacific EOD ball. Man.
Yeah. So that would have been May of 14.
Okay.
We me, an Air Force cat, 2 Air Force cats, another Marine. We had an arm, so we came up with this Pacific EOD ball idea. Like, we can't go to the memorial, so like, let's make a memorial. Talk to the committee. They sent us like the video that they're gonna do, the names, like everything that they were gonna show. We did it on. I want to say we did it on the Air Force Base. Yeah, at the. Oh man, I don't remember if it was Oak Club or Staff Club there.
Yeah.
And had a ball. Like, no shit, had a ball.
That's awesome.
No Navy representation. We had an Army dude fly from Korea.
No kidding.
Yeah, it came all the way out there. We had a great time.
Dang.
I can't believe you didn't hear about it, because like, it definitely made the papers.
Dude, I definitely would have gone. I was in Guam at the time, but our deployment was to Okie to attach the first out there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went, all over from there. But I definitely would have gone, because we went to the Army SF Christmas party, which is that was interesting.
We
It
were in
been
SF,
cool.
so I didn't hear about it.
Yeah, it would have been cool to freaking go out with you guys.
Yeah, man, I can't remember exactly where it was, but
it's crazy how like
we were there. We couldn't touch fingers, but
right?
Yeah,
That's cool.
My whole time on Okie, I think I was only on Okie for 8 months.
Okay.
I started the workup before I even checked in. Went to Afghanistan, came back. whatever leave, and then I got to go to mainland to do the arty reloads, is what we called it. So like they took artillery up there and they'd go shoot for
Okay.
I don't know, felt like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But got to go do that. But I wasn't on Okie enough to get that awesome ribbon that they give out.
Yeah.
I missed it by like 2 months. Tried to waiver, they got denied. It was a good thing I'm not a ribbon chaser.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, you asked me, like, that's the extent of my career, like in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know. I got stories, I guess. I just don't like talking about what I did, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's the Marines, we're humble compared to some of the other branches that are out there.
I feel like the arrows are pointed towards me.
I know not. I know not. I know a lot of Navy guys. So
Yeah.
like, if take it however you want. Like,
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean the purpose of the podcast, I think, is to highlight something different, right? So, you're also part of the EOD Motorcycle Club, right?
that's the rumor. Yeah.
And so, before we get totally into that, how did you find the EOD Motorcycle Club?
I think it's like some things in life, like you find things or they find you.
Okay.
My first duty station after a tech was Seaburf. I think most of you Navy guys know because you call us when it's time to get your pin. Like, hey man, I need some help on a chem question. But it's the chemical biological incident response force. Pretty much we're there for DC if something were ever happened. To be the grunts for the agencies to be like, hey, like we want you to go in and we want you to help out, and then we'll take over the thanks guys. So I got up there and my staff NCOIC was he's a member of the club, and this dude rode a motorcycle every day. So it's weather like this, November, he's still riding.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the heck? The dude wears like Carhartt bibs and a jacket and just smokes a pack and a half a day. Never seen him drink nothing but coffee. And I was like, gosh, dang it, man. Like, okay. So I just got my bonus. I lap moved. When I lap moved, it was a time thing. Apparently I was about to get in trouble by the Marine Corps, by my first sergeant in my old job. And that's when the bonuses were about to change. So I took, if I would have waited till like the next fiscal year, the bonus went up to like 80 grand.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no, I need to go. Like this, I have a clean record. No NJPs, no page 11s. If I did, it got washed away by Hurricane Katrina. There's no proof of it. But so I get there and I was like, man, like he had a bike. He was the only one at the time. And I was like, huh. And I was like, I don't know what it was, but like I've always wanted a bike. I've never rode bikes. Like
Really?
Nothing. I was just, I don't remember what it was, why I wanted a bike. But so I ended up buying a Harley in Maryland. Some old guy, pretty much, he's like, I don't want to ride anymore. I want to fish. So he gave me his bike for, I don't know. I thought a good deal, but it was like 8 grand or something.
Yeah.
Like 5,000 miles. I was like, heck yeah. So, did I say I didn't have a permit or a motorcycle license or nothing? Like
I feel like we're kindred spirits because that's awesome.
Like looking back, I took a lot of flack. It still gets talked about. Like that's the cool thing with the clubs. Like you make fun of people, and even EOD as a whole, right? Like, yeah, what are your flaws? Let's exploit them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I had this bike. I lived on a hill. It's stupid. Like you come down the road that went between La Plata and Indian Head. I don't remember the number. It's a numbered road, and just off of that was this road, Cripple Creek.
It's ominous.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. It's pretty weird. And but you turned off of that, and then the road went 3 ways, but there's only one that went like straight up. And I trailered the bike there, and I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna get this bike down the road. So I learned how to drive on like a 20 by 20 black top parking lot that I had for a driveway. And I was like, I'm scared to go down this driveway. So I did circles, figure eights. Once I had the figure eight thing figured out, I was like, all right, I got to be pretty good. I think I went to BRC, got my permit, and then so I bought it like November, December, and then I was like doing all this over the winter time, and we're like, hey, we're going down to the memorial, and I was like, we are? He's like, yeah, we are. I was like, okay, sure. Like I just graduated. Why not go back to the memorial? So I was like, all right, I'll ride to Florida. Like, why not? Like, I have a permit finally at this point. I was like, I'll go. And first motorcycle trip was a ride from Maryland down to Florida.
That's legit.
Yeah, broke. I think. It's going on the official radio here that I left the state with a permit. Not good, apparently. Nothing happened or no accidents, but it was just like looking back, like, man, like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, there's better ways to do it, but what do we do in the military? Try by fire. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, always. So that was pretty neat. And then met some of the club down there, and it was. I went to hell and back, and the atmosphere was cool.
Yeah.
Some of the instructors were there, and it's like, man, like this is kind of fun. And then I got pulled aside. This dude, so military haircut back then, but this guy had blonder hair than I did, and I was like, this guy's got a lot of interest in me. He was like, what are you doing here? I started getting grilled, and I was like, what? He just asked me a bunch of stuff, and I was like, that was weird. But got to know the dudes just in that weekend, and I was like those are a fun bunch of guys. Like, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And like got back, and of course, like anything we do and we get excited about it, we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and my wife at the time was like, shut the fuck up. Like, I got it. So rode with the club up in Maryland. We did a lot. We had a big group. North Carolina guys that come up. We had a couple in Virginia, and then we're us in Maryland, and we did a lot. So I got to see like firsthand like brotherhood and stuff that they did, and that really like roped me in.
Yeah.
I really don't have much for specifics, really. Like, again, if we talk about memory forgetting stuff, like I don't remember what we did at the time, but it was just that riding around.
Yeah.
And then, the fun part of all of this is I never asked to be a prospect.
Yeah.
My wife, because I wouldn't shut up about it at the time, she went to my boss. I was like, hey, like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
So I was all behind my back. And I think, oh yeah, there was a run coming up. I call it a run, but it's called the Beltway Ride. And they're like, hey, we're gonna go do that. I was like, yeah, sounds fun. Like, I've ridden around the Beltway. Like, I learned how to ride in the DC area.
Yeah.
So one that's nuts, it's like riding here. Like, learn how to ride in Virginia Beach. Like, it takes a lot of trust, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, people don't care about you.
Mm-mm.
So it's the same up there, and we're going to the Beltway Run. I'm like, all right. And so we met up like the Friday night prior, I think it was. And then I got told like, hey, go wash the bikes. I was like, no. I was like, I'm hard. I'm over your shop. Like, yeah, we had the shop down there. A couple of guys came up, and I was like, there's like 10 bikes. I was like, no. And he's like, no, you should really go wash the bikes. And I was like, hey, go take him and go wash the bikes. And I was like, I don't get this. And yeah, so like right after I get done washing the bikes or whatever, like they gave me a cut and like, good job, prospect. And I was like, what? Like, so yeah, I didn't have a choice in it. It might have been something I talked about.
Yeah.
Like my ex-wife now, she's like, yeah, you're just what you can go do.
That's awesome. That's pretty legit.
It's nuts. And I still, at this time, unbeknownst to everybody, I still did not have a motorcycle license.
That's awesome. Yeah. So a couple things. One question, first question, I should say. When you first started riding, did you have that like, and maybe you didn't realize it then, but if you think back to when you first started riding after you would get back from a ride, did your eyes hurt? And were you like physically exhausted?
That's something a lot of people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So initially, I don't remember. But I want to believe so. Cause like I was on a permit. I knew the rules when I left at Southern Maryland. Where are you going to go? Virginia, right? Like we had to leave the state. So I knew when we left, like every time I did, like I was on my own accord, like, hey, this isn't like, I could be in trouble with the Marine Corps. Like I'm hosed. Like thinking about it is like, well, if something happens, I get in a wreck, like I got to ditch my bike. Like, that's my thought process.
Right.
But I just bought this thing. I love it. So you're hyper alert.
Yeah.
Which actually was crazy because I just had a conversation 2 days ago with a therapist.
Yeah.
I'm about to go do something ridiculous. I say it's ridiculous, but it's about that. It's about clicking on and off of when to be like hyper vigilant and how your brain works. But yeah, like, hey, I got to pay attention. I got to think steps 2, 3, 4, 5. What happens if this car pulls out? What about the car down the road? Especially in the area we live in too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just coming over here today, we're shifting lanes. And this car in the intersection decided it was going to go from the middle lane to the left lane as we're trying to go right. Like, you always got to have, like, you got to think about that stuff all the time. So, I want to say that, I was tired. And I believe I was, like, wore out. But I was younger, like,
Right.
30s, right? We're stronger.
Yeah.
I was a late bloomer. So I came 32. I think I lap moved at 31 years old.
Okay.
So I already had 10 years in the Marine Corps in. I was like, that's people don't understand.
Yeah.
Or people that do like, man, I'm just so tired all the time. Like that's a good thing. That really is.
I rode before I came in the military, and then I did enough stupid stuff that I didn't trust myself. And I was like, man, I got this clearance and I got a pretty good gig. I don't need to, I know what I'm going to do if I start riding again. Yeah. And I think I'd be good now. Like I've become an adult enough that like I can manage what I want to do with what I should do. But back when I first started riding, I didn't realize it at the time, but I remember thinking back and I was like, dude, my eyes physically hurt. And like I was
exhausted. You probably weren't wearing safety glasses.
Also that. But like just that, like you are so aware of everything on the road that when you're in a car and you have this, it's almost kind of an illusion of safety too, because you can get pretty jacked up in a car if you're not paying attention. But you can get jacked up in a car, but you just straight die if you're on a bike. If a car does certain things to you.
You made me think about something when I first started riding. When's the last time you're driving down a road and you're looking for nails in the road in a car?
Yeah, that just doesn't happen.
You don't do that, right? What maybe potholes, right? Maybe. But no, like I remember first started riding, I got taught like you look at your front tire and you want to see everything that front. So it's this constant scan of near to far. And I was a LAR, so we were constant left to right, near to far, like zigzag patterns. Like we had everything. So like I was just practicing that left and right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of nuts to think about. Like why am I so tired? That's why I was tired.
Yeah.
If I was tired, like that's why. But I think the adrenaline too kept you going. The excitement, that's what kept me going. Like, oh man, this is fun. I finally found something I was into. While I was out of the Marine Corps for a while, I got into mud racing. And I had a 78 Chevy pickup, and I loved that.
Nice.
But like I look at that compared to this, like I can say I think I truly like riding bikes way more than racing trucks.
There's something to like the freedom and the typical wind in your hair thing, like, but it's true. Like there's something to feeling like just the world around you.
I'm gonna have to come back in your podcast in like December, and I got so much more to talk about.
Well,
but it's true, 100%. And I was talking to this therapist the other day. So I don't know, do you shouts out or anything yet?
Sure.
So I got accepted to go to Track Heroes.
Okay. Nice.
Warrior Foundation said I'm retarded enough. I don't know how do they pick people? I haven't figured this out yet. And it's something I want to ask. Like, how'd you pick me?
Yeah.
But going there, and I actually spent some time with the therapist the other night on the phone call, and it's exactly that. Like I have this thing I want to do, but like wind therapy, at some point, your mind, things are natural. And we're talking about it. Like, so what we just described, riding a motorcycle down the road, looking for nails, looking for potholes, looking for any dangers. What is this car going to do? What's that car going to do? What did you do going on the road in an MRAP looking for IEDs? The same thing, right? Scenarios. You practice rock drills, like all that stuff. Like we did all of that. But okay, so we talk about the next piece of the transition after you're out, which, you're coming there soon, hopefully. But when you get out, you're like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to know a fire drill when, I don't know, my back right tire gets blown up, and like you don't have to do that stuff anymore. So part of your mind, I think we lose some of that, and I think for like me and some of the guys riding, like you still have that. So for a blip in time, I have that, and I call it, for me, I call it like my aha moment. Like people go for rides to find that calm, find the clarity, and I joke all the time. I was like, mine's 1,000 miles. And well, my current wife's like, you're not leaving me for 1,000 miles. I was like, I'll be back in a weekend. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one story that'll maybe make you feel better about only having a permit. So I was younger. I was, let's see, I was either 19 or 20. I think I was 20 when I bought my first bike. And I was big into street racing my Subaru at the time. Yeah,
not WRX by any means.
Don't judge. It was a WRX. It was legit, man. I like that thing. But I'd blown second gear at the track, and so I didn't have enough money to. God, saying this out loud now, I'm like, man, I was so fiscally irresponsible.
As we all were.
I didn't have enough money to buy a new transmission, but I did have enough money to finance a new bike that I'd never ridden before.
That's the bank.
Right. So I go to the shop, and they were like, yep. It was a Suzuki. If you get this one, you have to have a motorcycle license. If you get this one, you don't. And I was like, well, I don't have a motorcycle license yet. And they're like pointing in that direction. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. So I did that. I bought that. My dad came with me. We put it in his truck. We took it home, and I just started riding. And I never even got my permit. I think I did have insurance, but
So you're semi-responsible.
Yeah. But the only reason why I got my permit is because when I got pulled over, the cop asked me, why were you going so fast? Because he had clocked me at 99. And I said, well, I had to pass the truck. I was on the freeway. And it was perfect timing. And there was a truck passing, and he was like, that one? I was like, well, I didn't pass anymore. And then I was, so again, anybody listening that's currently active duty, this was before I was active duty. I put this on my security clearance. It's all in there, right? So I was really good at talking to cops because, like I said, I street raced before, and I talked to cops a lot during that.
Weird.
Right? Also, don't condone any of this.
It's illegal, folks.
Yes, exactly. But somehow I was able to talk it was a motorcycle cop that pulled me over. I was able to talk my way out of not having a license when he asked for it. And I just like it was no big deal, handed him my regular license. And he's like, no, like your motorcycle license. And I was like, oh, they said I didn't need that. And he was like, no, you definitely need that. And I was like,
dealership said.
That's it. And he was like, I don't know if he just had more important things to do or like actually believed me or what, but he was like, all right, so here's the deal. Follow me onto the freeway. You know where the DMV is? And I was like, yep. He's like, all right, get off on this exit, go straight to the DMV, apply for your permit. And what'd he say? If you get it, stay off the freeways. And if you don't get it, we'll stay off the freeways anyways. So I got my permit. I never actually got a license. I rode for like 3 years. Never actually got, I'm that dude. So you're better than me.
Did we get to the part where I got a license yet? Or I don't think.
No, we didn't. Well, I'm excited now.
Oh, man. So I think going back to, I think it was that event, this Beltway ride. and it got known that I was still on my permit. And part of being a prospect is you have to have a motorcycle license.
Okay.
Not a permit, a license.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's one of those things. I did all the legwork ahead of time. I met a lot of people. Like, they liked me. I was funny enough. I don't know what it was. Like, my blonde hair, blue eyes. I don't know. And they're like, all right. Like, we'll let this go. However, you got to go. We got to make sure you know how to ride.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, yeah. Like, we're still. So we are at the bottom of the Beltway. 210 meets the 490. Was it? Is it? I don't know what goes around the DC. 495.
I think so.
There's a Harley there. That's where the start point was. They happen to have a motorcycle like arcade game, and they're like, "We need to make sure you know how to ride." I think at this point there's like 400 bikes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people here, and so I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, a licensed rider needs to make sure that you know how to ride. So they took another prospect at that time and made us ride double up on this arcade game to make sure I know how to ride. They're like, you just got to be safe, man. We just got to know. And I'm like, yeah. So whatever. That would have been like still like 2011. We still had, phones are out, cameras are out.
Yeah.
So there's probably a picture or two floating.
That's awesome.
Of like these two grown men. The stupid arcade game. Like, taking pictures, make sure I know how to ride. Obviously, I was good enough. We did the whole Beltway ride. We made the cover of a motorcycle magazine.
Nice.
Cause we were up towards the front of the pack, which in all, there's 1,000 bikes there that day. We rode with an escort all the way around the Beltway ride. Don't recommend it. If you ever heard the story or know what really happened, then you know it. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
but 1,000 bikes, I think, broke a record to go around DC.
That's cool.
Yeah, and all the end, like, they're like, okay, like, I knew how to ride enough. Yeah. But I still, like, some of the laws. Like, I didn't have a passenger for the longest time. Like, I was like, I need to get a license. I ended up doing it in the wintertime. I always do things the hard way, it seems like. Probably has some Marine nature.
You're right.
So I took BRC in Virginia at Quantico. And since I lived in Maryland and I had a Minnesota driver's license still, they're like, hey, we can't help you. I was like, what do you mean you can't help me? Like, I don't understand. Why am I here then?
Yeah.
Like, why did I just do, other than I need BRC? So I ended up having to, as a deal, it probably took me 8 months to get my motorcycle license. Really? Once I started to, like, figure it out, I had to get a new license to Maryland. Well, you said my short name. So I'm actually the 5th generation. I have a Roman numeral V after mine.
Okay.
When I went to Maryland, they made a number 5 and put a TH in the back of my license. That went under review. I didn't know people review driver's license. I was like, that's not what I wanted on there. So the transfer from Minnesota to Maryland took forever. And then finally, like, 3 months, like, that got approved. And then it was like, I don't know, wintertime. There was snow on the ground. I took my motorcycle test in Waldorf in the snow. It was stupid freezing out. And the instructor, I don't think, wanted to be out there, so he passed me. I might have been a good rider. We don't know, but I'll just state the facts. It was stupid cold out. But yeah, it took me like a year and a half after I got my bike to get my license.
That's awesome.
It's nuts. Like, looking back, I was like, man, it's one of the reasons people make fun of me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that you kind of pointed out there, but kind of flew over that dawned on me. There's a lot of, like, I think, misconceptions about different things, different groups, whatever, but motorcycle clubs and whatever, and, like, just the outlaw nature of it. Interesting that the motorcycle club wanted to make sure that not only, like, you knew how to ride, but that you were legal. Like,
right. Yeah. So it is funny to think about. Like, man, who really cares, right? Like, but I guess part of that, like, take it back to our community. Like, are we not our brother's keeper? I guess, so goes into a lot. So as I started the club, well, whatever, just dive into it. Like, why do we prospect people? And it's like, especially for us as an EOD Motorcycle Club, well, you know how to EOD. You pass the school, right? Once you pass the school, everybody's a tech. Like, you're great. You just, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know
right?
everything now.
We know everything. So like with that, like, that's why like prospecting was to like, make sure you know how to ride. So like we rode as we are a traditional 3-piece patch. So there's another set of rules that we follow of like how we carry ourselves, how we ride as a group. And so with that, it's like we do ride as a group. So they want to make sure we want to make sure we all know how to ride tight, side by side, pretty much battle drills. Like if I see a fun example, and I didn't think I was going to talk about examples, but here we are.
You're that guy now.
Me and another prospect at the time riding down to Florida. I don't remember if I had a license or not yet, but we were heading to Florida, and I think we were actually headed to South Carolina to meet up with another guy. And there's a tire tread in the road. We both saw it. We were in the left-hand lane, like, oh man, there's a tire tread up ahead. Like, all right, cool. Him and I have rode enough where like I'm on the left side, he's on the right side. We stay that way. And like if something happened, he's gonna go to the right. If he can't go to the right, he's gonna come to the left a little bit or fall back a little bit. But I need to stay my course. So the plan was all great. And we did obviously no communications. We just know because we've rode time together, and it was all great till the car in front of us hit the tire tread.
Oh no.
I saw my tire tread, and this thing goes up in the air. We're like, oh shoot! Like, what? Okay, we don't plan for this. Like, what do you do now? Incoming. But yeah, we stayed the course, did our thing, and he ended up it went this way, and then all of a sudden it shifted to up and down, and it came down and it hit his right hand grip.
Ooh.
Luckily nothing terrible happened,
Okay.
but like because of our training, like we and making sure like we know how to ride, and could have been worse. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse, but I did what I had to do. He did what he had to do. He could have been better, right? I don't know. I don't remember if there's another car there or nothing, but no. So like the training is important, all the way to the point of we actually have a prospect training guide, which is been looked at by a lot of people, and it's like I said, you know how to be a tech, like you got the rules, you got the basics. Like, all right, you have a motorcycle license, you got the basics how to ride a bike. But if you want to be an MC, like there's a whole nother like bunch of stuff you gotta learn. And so part of our prospect training guide is to make sure, we know how to ride. You have knowledge, like bike culture, like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it is important. Because at some point, us being EOD guys, well, there's only a handful of bases out spread throughout the U.S. And you might be a place where nobody else is. So like, how do I know that you are going to handle yourself in accordance to our rules and the motorcycle rules? So it's part of like the training goes into that too, just so we know that you're the right guy. You don't go make a fool of the club, yourself. And then on top of that, like as many incidents has happened in the past, like a tech can go do something and like black eyes the whole community. So kind of the same philosophy and how that worked out.
Yeah, that makes sense. On the thinking about like anybody listening that has never ridden before and definitely never ridden in a group, like it totally makes sense that you would want to like train somebody how to ride in a group, because that's totally different. When you're riding by yourself, you got to look out for a bunch of things, but when you're riding in a group, that the visual that comes in my mind that makes me laugh is
don't say Dumb and Dumber.
No. I don't know where I saw this, but it was a run. It was like I think it was a triathlon, and it was the run portion of the triathlon. And there was a big group, and they were all rounding this left turn, right? And everybody's like going kind of every which way. And the one dude doesn't see the huge pole and just smacks right into that. Well, that makes it like when you're riding in a group, if there's something in the road, there's certain hand signals and there's certain ways that you as your group go about letting the dudes behind you know. Cause I mean, anybody in the military, you've probably been in a formation run, and there's ways you let people know that there's a pothole. Yeah. Cause if you don't, somebody's going to medical after.
I rolled my ankle. Yeah. So there's a lot of time gets spent in smaller rides, one-on-one, then maybe we'll do like whatever the local people are before we throw into like our big run would be like the memorial.
Yeah.
Where we actually escort the families from the hotel all the way to the wall. Been done a bunch of ways. This last year was nuts though. probably one of my top two. We came out of the hotel, which is on Okusa Island. I forget the name of the hotel. Anyways, but it's by the old Hellenbeck that's now across from the convention center, the hotel there. We get out the hotel, make it right, then we're gonna get on the main drag. And as soon as it was raining real bad. Like we thought this thing was getting called off. We're getting constant updates from the Warrior Foundation, or the committee, like, hey, hold off for lightning hold, like having to time everything with a police escort and getting the family there. But as soon as we turned out right in the main drag, once we got cleared hot, there was like 3 feet of water. Like you're just riding right into 3 feet of water, and the cops, cool, like they know we're on motorcycles. They have that forethought. They're like, okay, like let's go slow through here. That's all fine and dandy, but some people like lowered motorcycles. Some people don't. So like, there's one dude, and if the picture's got to be out somewhere, but his tailpipes were underwater for I don't know a mile.
Oh, jeez.
And it's just like, come on, man, don't just hold that throttle. You're riding second gear, whatever he's in the whole way. But like, again, training, things that you don't think about, like, but why can't I shift?
Right.
When the moment you do, you let water into your engine, it's going to just kill the motor. And if you're in a formation, what does that do to the guy behind you?
Exactly.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that I guess get taken for granted. But again, if you're not into this thing in the motorcycle culture and wanting to be a part of it, like you don't think about it.
Right.
So it's always like from the outside, like, well, that's dumb. What are they doing that for? Right? Well, first off, yeah, it's dumb. We're out in the rain. But as you and I are talking, actually, quick side note is I used AI. I was like, man, like what, like how do I say some things or how to look some stuff up? But they brought up a point of like us as a club when we ride, especially in a group, we all wear our cuts.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are really a riding memorial. Like that's part of our mission is to like live for the EOD Tech, live for the fallen, live for their family, and don't let it be forgotten. And it made me think like the ride to the wall for Vietnam guys, like they travel with that wall, a piece all the way to DC. So it's like, man, like maybe we are. Like I just never heard it that way. And all my time in the club, it's like we do. Like, and a lot of us in our hearts, we do ride for the wall, for the people on the wall, like and their families, like because they again, like we don't want anything to be forgotten. Mm-hmm. Legacy, just like what you're doing with this podcast, like we don't want stories, people to be forgotten about because everything's happened for a reason and there's something meaningful behind it. So
I
thought that was pretty neat. I was like, a riding memorial, a different take on it. But
I've so let's see, I graduated school in 2008, and I've never been available to go to the memorial down there. I'm transferring down to Panama City, and so this next year will be the first year that I'll be able to go to the memorial, which I'm excited about. I just did an event the EOD Warrior Foundation put on Songwriting for Soldiers with Jeff.
Yeah.
And that was when I found out he did a thing that pointed to the riding and escorting the families of the fallen to the memorial, which is super freaking cool. Like it's awesome to doing this podcast. There's a few things that I've learned, right? And or learned or realized. And it's that everybody wants to get out of the military.
Well, there's a time limit anyways. You have to.
There is. But like, everybody has their like, I got to get out, right? Or I want to get out at some point, right?
Yeah.
And people do it in a bunch of different ways. The thing that some people realize and other people don't is that when you get out, like especially in EOD, no matter what service you're in, EOD is this like this brotherhood, this thing that you have people that like say with Prospect, right? When you go and you see a senior tech, a basic, a master tech, but just in general, an EOD guy, right? You've got an expectation of what they are, right? And like, that, hey, there's common ground there. And when you get out and you move away from that, there ends up being this like this gap. And for some people it's a big gap, and for others it's not as big. But for everybody, from what I've seen in this podcast, there's this gap. And finding something to fill that gap is something that I think everybody should start working before they actually get out.
For sure.
And the motorcycle club is like, it's filling that gap plus some, because it's not just like, some people do it in like, hey, I'm really into cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they join a car club, but it has nothing to do with EOD or whatever, right?
But it could.
It could, absolutely, right? And that's what's cool when we started talking about, hey, maybe we do this podcast where we focus on the EOD Motorcycle Club. Like, it's not just a motorcycle club where you get this brotherhood again, right? But it's this brotherhood where it's also tied into, you're not forgetting about it. Not only are you not forgetting about, but you're purposefully remembering.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just the fallen, but like definitely the fallen, but
the families, the kids.
Exactly.
Like, and it's letting it go. And I don't know, see how far this goes, your podcast, but like, I've been in long enough, as well as you, as like a buddy of mine, he did pass. Mm-hmm. And he had kids, and his kids are getting to the point where like, and man, I heard something not long ago, like a family member actually reached out and said, hey, like, can you tell me about my dad? Like, I think we're getting around to that point where some of this, like, the conflict and stuff, they're like, tell me about him. Like, sure. Like, that's huge, hard and all, but like, the kids are going to want to know about their, mom or dad that they've never got to meet.
Right.
So totally forgot where I was going to caveat that into, but no, it's huge. So like riding for the fall and the memory, the brotherhood, and having that transition, like, that is huge. And like, that is our purpose. Yeah. Our purpose is to like never forget. But it's what you do with that purpose. Mm. And throughout my time in, I done a bunch of stuff. Mowed the lawn of a fallen family member. Watched dogs. Like, they went on vacation, and they're like, "Hey, like, we need someone to like watch dogs." Like, I go watch their dogs for a weekend. Like, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's just me personally. Like, and that's just one dude within the club. Like, looking at some of the things over time that we've done is helping people like pack up to move. Like, they're leaving Florida and they want to go somewhere, like spending the time to actually go and help them pack up, or a lot of the fundraising stuff. And so that's like personal stuff. Like, that's actually when it means a lot more. Mm-hmm. Sure, we as a club will raise funds and whatnot, and we'll send, someone will ask for like help. There's a Marine that asks like, hey, I want to go to school. My funds have kind of ran out. This is what I need. And I mean, we're not willy-nilly giving people like, yeah, man, like, go ahead. Like, we'll give you a donation. But like, talking to them, making sure that they've expended like the right resources. All right, cool. You've used I think he was out, so he couldn't use whatever you're in, the
TA, tuition assistance.
TA. But his GI Bill ran up and stuff. So like, yeah, like, we helped furnish like his books or whatever, and he got his degree, and like, sweet. Like, that's, one thing that we do. Like, he's driven to go do that. There are many stories more. Like, we could do all this too. But how we can help people, and like, that's why we do what we do. Yeah. And it's not, I've come to find out. So recently I was elected to be the president of this organization, which is, I guess, why I'm in the hot seat right now. But it's something that over the years I've seen, and my mentors in the Marine EOD community were like, I challenge you to like do this, change the name, like get better out there at what you guys do.
Yeah.
And recently, probably started last year, I started talking to different people, and they're like, well, I didn't know you guys escorted the families in.
Right.
And we used to, I don't know what changed or when it changed, but we used to escort the families in like when people were already at the memorial. Now it's like, I think we're there like 8 o'clock or so. Like we're there early. And so like they're like one of the first people there. They go in there and then they get to go inside and do stuff. So like, sure, nobody sees us escorting them in anymore. Nobody knows that we do work with the foundation, the Warrior Foundation, and like things where they're really good at helping big picture stuff. Like they're the EOD Warrior Foundation. Everybody knows who they are, but some things take time. If you're like, hey, I need help, like they need to make sure that they do their research, they get their funds together, their boards all agree. Like, yes, I think we should help this person. Sometimes in the meantime, though, like they'll call us and be like, hey, we're doing this, or this is what we're looking at doing, but we could use your help to help like get things taken care of in the meantime.
Yeah.
A couple examples of that would be a fallen tech, family members, they get taken care of. The initial family members, mom, dad, get flown out, hotel, all that stuff. But we've had one family, the brother and sister, like the EOD Warrior Foundation couldn't pay for them. So they came to us and we helped the brother and sister get down to the memorial.
Nice.
I think in the end, eventually, at some point in your career, unless you're like me and your family doesn't know what you did, they know the community, they understand, they get a sense of what the EOD community is.
Yeah.
And how tight they are. And so like, that meant a lot for us to be able to help them get down there, because they're like, hey, like I want to see like the community and to pay the respects to my family member.
Yeah, that's a big thing. I know we did a thing at just inside of our group at group 2 here, and we did an event and invited some of the family members, and one of the brothers of one of the guys that had been killed came out and did a PT with us, and just like was like, man, he's like, I'm not in shape for this, but this is freaking awesome. Like, you know, like it's good to see, like, for me, it was good to see like how many people came out when we said, hey, you know, I don't want to throw the name out there, but like this guy's going to come out, and, you know, and a bunch of the guys had never even knew his brother, you know, but they were like, hey, a brother of the fallen is coming out. Let's come out for that, you know, like be there to like
represent us.
Exactly.
Right. Represent the badge. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And I think too, like, you know, mention something, it's funny. So I had a dog for a long time.
Does that mean you're having a heart attack?
No, just because I'm that age. Come on, man. No, doing this because it's probably sounds funny to like, maybe 75% of the people out there, but those who have dogs, like, so I had a dog for a long time, and it is, there are a lot of things I didn't do because I had a dog and I didn't have anybody to come watch him. Like, sounds like a really small thing. Like,
when you have a big dog and no one likes your big dog, I get it.
Yeah. But like having a group that you can rely on to like, hey, I'm going to go take a week vacation. Can you watch my dog? Like, there's a lot of people that would be like, I mean, you know, there's people you can pay for that, right? You're like, yeah, but if I pay for that, now I can't afford my friggin' vacation, you know? Like, it sounds like a small thing probably to a lot of people, but that's actually a big thing. Like I'm doing this because like, I don't know why that hits me so much, but like it does. Yeah. There's my wife and I, like, as much as I love dogs, but my dog ended up passing probably 2 weeks after I left on my last deployment. And like my wife and I, like my wife hated that dog at first. It was my dog and she hated it. And by the time, after a while, you know, forced companionship, it's a thing. But got to the point where like we both really felt it, and like felt it so much that we're like, man, I don't know that I can get another dog because I don't want to go through that again, you know?
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So sorry, that was a weird like tangent, but that one, but
like, and I guess that's the point of why we do this is like money can buy a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Money can pay for a lot of things, but for someone to give up their time to go do that, to give that person, whoever that may be, like some R&R time, I don't remember where they went or whatever, but it was just like, hey, like I need someone to watch the dog for like, I don't know. I don't remember if it was a weekend or a couple of days. And it's like, yeah, like no problem. It's the least that I could do. Like, luckily for me, I lived right down the road, so I'm not driving down, I don't know, West Virginia, riding over to West Virginia, like doing that. But having the ability to do that. And when my buddy passed, I talked to his wife, and I was like, if you ever need anything, like that's what the club's for. Mm-hmm. You need someone to cut your grass, like I'll find a guy. It might not be someone in the club, like because they moved to the West Coast. And I was like, I'll tell one of my Marines to cut your grass.
Yes,
like,
right.
When you're in power, you can do some of this. So like, hey, I want you to go cut their yard. Like, why? Because I said so. Like,
but that actually brings up a good point. Like we were talking about before, the club is national. It's not just to a specific location, which enables you to like actually reach out if somebody's in some random place. Hey, we might have somebody that's, you know, fairly close to that can come out and, depending on the need, can be there to actually do something.
Yeah. And I think it's another positive with this podcast is like to get us out there and let people know, like, I don't know, like Alaska, Montana, Washington State. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
We need some representation. But no, and it's for that reason. It's just having that access, sure, with the club, but I'll even say as a Marine, like how many times have you, or an EOD guy, right? Like travel across country. I'm looking at your map, and like how cool could it be if you could travel and not have to pay for a hotel?
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, like I have a EOD brother there, like, and crash at their house. So that's nice to have. Like I could get all the way to New Mexico. I have no reason to go to Arizona anymore. Well, okay. Sorry, brother. I got a brother in Arizona. But like I could get all the way over there and have a free place to stay.
Yeah.
So that's just within the EOD community. So that is huge. That personal connection, that personal touch to be able to help people is awesome.
Yeah.
And like, how do we make that happen? How do you do that? Lots of ways, I guess, word of mouth. But something that we've done as a club is learning social media. Social media is a thing.
Right.
Hence why I'm here. But what avenues that people can help is we help after the long walk. The one that got started up. And as you know, Jeff's a part of that. Like, hey man, like, what do you need help with? And when we first started out, like we sent flyers out to the commands. Don't ever trust the mailing list that comes out of the Pentagon with military units. Tried that a few times. A lot of letters come back. But no, like so it's something that we did. Like, how can we make a difference? Because we know what we know. It brings up a point that goes around in my head. One of our early presidents for the motorcycle club said, "Are you an EOD tech that became a biker? Or are you a biker that became an EOD tech?" And it's like, it's one of those things that ponder. And at the time, I had my permit. I was like, I was an EOD tech that became a biker. Duh. But it does make you think on stuff like, all right, like, so I am a tech, and like I believe in the badge. I believe in what we do. I think I totally lost my train of thought on this. But like, how can we connect that and the EOD tech. Sure, I like to ride motorcycles, and how do I help EOD techs?
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we need to get out. We need to find other avenues because like I'm good at riding bikes. Like maybe not good at riding them. I'm good at putting miles on a bike. We years ago, someone's like, man, all right. I went to one of the after BRC classes that you have to keep going to keep your stuff going. I found it was the easy day out of work.
Yeah.
But the instructor was like, all right, like big dude, salty guy. He was like, I just want to feel the room here. Like, who rides their bike a lot? And everyone's like, yeah. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. I think we had 10 students. He's like, raise your hand if you ride more than 1,000 miles a year. It's like, yeah, I think everybody should ride 1,000 miles a year. He's like, all right, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. And he's like, how many miles did you ride last year? And I was like, I rode 10,000 miles last year. He's like, there's no way. And I was like, no, sir. Like, I don't know. I probably was E6, E7. I don't remember. I was like, I got no reason to lie. Like,
yeah.
You don't know I'm part of a motorcycle club. We like to ride. And he went out and I think it was down in Lejeune area. I wasn't at Lejeune. I'm not going to dime the guy out. But he checked my odometer and he's like, oh. Mind you, my bike has 85,000 miles on that specific bike right now. And that's what the odometer shows. And he was like, oh, I see your back tire won't pass the inspection, so you can't do BRC. I was like, come on, man. Like, what? You opened up a contest. I'm like, how much do you ride? And I'm like, I was like, sir, I had that bike replaced back in July. He's like, or that tire replaced. Like, no, you didn't. I pulled the receipt out of my bag. It's like July. He looked at the mileage on that tire, looked at the mileage on my bike again. He was like, I can't let you take this class. So I'm not lying to you, man. Like, I ride. Like, we all know tires last for like 12,000 miles ish if you ride. So like, I ride a little bit.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going to. But yeah, like trying to like bring it all back together is like, we do ride to find that thing. So like, yeah, I'm good at, I like to ride. How can I ride for the fallen, for the families? And you know, like obviously just recently was that ride memorial made me think about it, but it goes into something we talked about earlier is like your perception of what I do on my bike, whether it's me, another brother, the club, or some jerk off biker doing lane splitting, like, oh, these motorcycle riders, like that gives us a bad name. So like keeping that in your head, it's like I represent the motorcycle community when I ride. I know I do. On top of that, I wear a vest and my colors, and so they see a cut. They see I love the argument. Like they see a piece of leather on me on a motorcycle, like, oh, that's a dirty biker. And it's like, yeah, I am. I'm with these people. So like what I do does affect those people.
Right.
The moment I take this off and I wear my sweatshirt that has the same logo on it, I'm just a dude, right? I laugh about that, but we are a representation of all of that. And so how do we as a club get out and raise awareness? I don't know. I raise money to help other people. I'm trying to think of a way to say it, but like, how do we get our outreach? Like, how do we do that? So that's something I've been focusing on like the last few years. And that's just a guy, just a brother in the club. I'm just like, man, like I want to do more. Like we do stuff for the EOD Warrior Foundation. We do stuff for ourselves. So recently we just finished. I tried to get you to come up and eat some meatballs, but no, it's too far away, man. You didn't go to Bahrain. I don't know where you went, but we've been doing. So it started before us actually. A gentleman started. It's called Battle of the Bands in Colonial Beach. I think the first one was like 2009, 8 maybe. They brought the American Legion actually brought out some shirts from back then of the first Battle of the Bands, and they're like, "Hey, this is so cool! Look at this!" And we're like, "That was before me. I was here for that one." Pull up a picture, and they're like, "Yeah!" Like that's pretty neat. One year I had like this Toby Keith impersonator out there.
That's awesome.
He looked like him from afar, tall dude and everything.
Yeah.
And he didn't quite sing like the poor guy, but you know, rest in peace, Toby. He tried. He tried. But we do a spaghetti dinner there, and we've done 12 spaghetti dinners, 12 years in a row. Hurricane to no hurricane. It's to the point where the weather could be inclement weather. So 3 years ago, there was a possible hurricane in the area, and we switched it to bike week to try to like just expand what we do. And I think the bikes all left Thursday, and we pulled into town Friday. We prepped Friday. Takes us like 7 hours to make meatballs.
Really?
Our meatballs are the size of softballs.
Nice.
I have it's a standard measurement of my hand. Everybody has their own standard measurement. We talk about weighing them next year to see like how big they actually are.
Yeah.
12 years, we still don't know, but we know the recipe. That's all that matters.
That is.
And yeah, so we did this, and we raised $7,000 in a weekend in one day.
Wow.
From noon to 6.
That's awesome.
I got excited. I posted on our chats or our Facebook stuff. It's like, hey, the first 30 minutes we served 30 plates, like huge. Like it just. So I think the weather could be inclement, but we've done it so much that the locals from Colonial Beach, like, we're coming to get some meatballs.
That's cool.
They know, so it's something they do look forward to, and having that impact on them. Like, I mean, sure, they eat. It's $10 a plate. It's not expensive. Go find somewhere and eat what we feed you for $10.
Yeah, right.
Good luck. But they look forward to that. They love us. Obviously, we represent the EOD community well enough that they want to come out and do that. So that was pretty cool. Seeing that year after year, and I've only missed a handful of those.
Yeah.
But that's awesome just to watch that grow. So that's just like one example.
Yeah.
Florida, come December, we're gonna do a chili cook-off down in Panama City. Looks forward to seeing you there.
Nice.
Yeah.
When?
I'll get back to you.
All right.
I think I want to say it's on a Saturday.
I mean, I should be there for the next 3 years, so
Yeah.
I should be able to make it.
So we've been doing that for a while.
Nice. I like
down
some
there.
chili.
It's a good time. Maybe this year will be the first year I actually make it down there. Retired life's great. So we'll do events like that. Another big one we do. We don't do it every year because it takes time, and we have, like I told you before, like we know what some things we might have screwed up on in the past, and we want to get better. We do bike raffles.
Okay.
Man, I can't tell you how many bikes we've raffled off. I can tell you, I think it's at least 3, but I think 5 maybe.
Yeah.
That we have raffled off. And sometimes I think over half of them have gone, the proceeds go right to the EOD Warrior Foundation.
Nice.
Some of them we've built from scratch. I say from scratch, like someone's got a bike laying around, they'll fix it up. And I know there's a gentleman out there that's not happy with his motorcycle. But he's never asked, like, hey man, like he knows of the club. He knows like specific members in the club.
Yeah.
We'll fix the bike, man. Just let us know. Like, we want you to have a good experience. Like, I'm not trying to sell a piece of crap.
Right.
You know? But was it this past Memorial? We had a bike that we auctioned off, like gave to the EOD Warrior Foundation, said, hey, like, we're donating this bike to you guys. It's a fun time on the auction floor. Ended down to these 2 guys bidding on this, I don't know, 2012 maybe. I don't remember what year bike it was. I remember a Springer. And this one guy came up to me, he's like, why should I bid on this bike? I was like, oof. I mean, you're at the EOD, you're at the auction. What do you mean, why should I bid on the bike? Like, you should just want to bid on the bike. Like, you got money to spend, right?
Right.
And I was like, it's a Springer. I was like, they don't make Springers anymore. I don't know if they ever will. Like, Harley goes back and forth. And so I was like, so it's a rare find. Like, you're not going to get this bike anymore. It's like, sold. Made his bid. And I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. That's easy. But the winning guy won it. And he knew, if he listens, he know who he is because he's related to the Navy community. Bless his heart, but his mom said no. I was like, okay. He's like, Mama said no, I can't have this bike. I was like, all right. So he gave the bike back to us.
Really?
The club said, hey, like, I'm giving my winning bid is this, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a good, it was a happy amount, like surprised.
Yeah.
And then he gave the bike back to us. The club said, "Hey, go ahead and go and sell us again."
Wow.
And we
That's
just
cool.
did that. I think it was this last weekend, and yeah, we got another $10,000 to add on to that donation.
That's awesome.
And that's all for the EOD Warrior Foundation.
That's cool.
So we've done things like that in the past. It's one example, like that's like the big company I think everybody knows about. If EOD guys need help, but us, how we fit in is we try to aid where we can. Like, I mean, eventually once you start raising money, like you have to do something with it. Like, which, as I'm saying this, it's not a bad thing if people don't need the help. But we can only help who we know about.
Yeah.
So that's like a tertiary reason why I'm on here is like, add us to your list. Like if there's something that people do need, like we are here to help. Specifically, every dollar we raise goes to EOD Techs. Like I'll throw this rumor and I'll displace it. I'll hit it with a baseball bat. Like they don't pay for my motorcycles.
Yeah.
A lot cooler if they did, but they don't. So like every dollar we raise goes right back to the EOD community, to the warriors that need it or their families.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude, one of the weird parts about doing this podcast, right, and being host side is the good part. I get to just have conversations, especially about like things that I think are cool, which in this case, motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
But one of the weird parts is while I do this, I'm constantly like trying to think about things that we're talking about and that we've talked about and like how things come around. And one of the things I've noticed in this conversation is this motorcycle club seems, which isn't actually that weird when I say it out loud,
it's always in our head.
Is a lot like EOD, right?
No way. Really?
We join it because of things that we want, and we stay in it because of things that we can give back. And that's a lot of what I'm hearing. Like, is you joined it because like, oh man, motorcycles and a group that's like, it's tied to EOD, right? But like,
that's how EOD guys.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But then like what you end up doing is giving back. And like, that's the thing that I think, a lot of people are missing that have like a hard time in life is if you start finding some way to give back, it turns out it brings a ton of value to your own life. And like, that's what I'm hearing a lot in this.
And I 100% agree. And there's things that I think we all do better. So I grew up as a person, my mom and dad always raised me to give back. When I was a kid, I remember helping deliver Meals on Wheels. I like to, people that know me, I grew up in nursing homes. So my mom and dad both worked in a nursing home for a while. Yeah. I've had several adopted grandmas. Not any grandpas, just grandmas, and they all passed because they're old. But growing up there and like, why was I in a nursing home? Because I made them happy. Yeah. Like, sure, probably mom and dad didn't have daycare, so like, hey, come to work with me, like hang out. Like, but no, like, and you see that, like, you can actually see, and I do remember some of this, like, a few individual people. They're like, man, you made me happy when I'd see you. Trying to think through high school, like I'd always find something to volunteer at. And when I and I think about it, like when I was in my first 10 years in the Marine Corps, I don't think I volunteered for a thing.
Yeah.
And then I come EOD, I go to CBERF, and they were so involved in the community. I have so many letters of appreciations for like going to a school and doing, I don't remember what they did that day, but we had our robots out there. I mean, you Navy guys know that. You show up with your robots, do demonstrations. Like, yep. We ran into you guys down in Fredericksburg. It's probably an EOD Warrior event, but like they would show up with their stupid trailer and their big trucks and like, oh, look at us and our robots. And here's us Marines in a bomb suit. Like, hey, this is us. But that was my introduction into the EOD community, was like, hey, force fed to go help give back. Yeah. So yeah, doing it with the club, like it's second nature. You don't even think about it. Like, Like, all right, what's next? Like, sadly, the Arlington event was this weekend. Laying at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier Friday, and then Saturday they went and laid a bunch of flags at the EOD Technician grave sites in Arlington, which we as a club used to do. We used to go up on Veterans Day that weekend, and we used to go on our own and do that. But part of the outreach and like letting people know actually what we do is to start to join some of these other organizations so people can see like, hey, like we're not just a bunch of guys that ride motorcycles and drink beer or bourbon, whatever it is we're drinking. But like we do give back, and like a lot of stuff is on our minds. And I think you could ask any member, and like they'll tell you like, yeah, that's what we want to do. We always want to give back, and even some of our past members, like you still see them at the memorial.
Yeah.
Like, why is that? Because they care still. So that's what I want to believe. Maybe you weren't a fit for the club or whatever, but like they still care. So like that does show like that is something that is bred into maybe the community, you know. And I think when I first came in, we started talking about like why the EOD. Like you talk to other clubs, like how big are you? Like, man, you can't tell that. You can't tell anybody how big you are as a club. Yeah. But like, hey, let's just like just say it's a veterans club. Like, but just think about this for a split second. You're a vets club. And they're like, yeah. So we take all veterans, like EODs in 4 branches. They're like, right? Like, yeah, that's pretty huge. Well, you start looking at the numbers of EOD in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, like significantly less than GP Army, you know? Yeah. You take that, like how many of those dudes actually ride a motorcycle? Just a motorcycle. It don't matter which one. Maybe half of that Army EOD maybe rides a motorcycle, has license. They might even own one and just sits in a garage like a lot of Harley owners do. Yeah. We don't just take Harley guys, but I'll get to that. But so you take that and you whittle that down, like, well, who wants to be part of something else? And I think, I don't know, not trying to put perceptions out there, but there's a clear line drawn in the sand of after X year, people don't want to be part of another organization that are EOD guys. It's just so almost, I feel, this is a heart thing, that I get done with work, I hang my blouse up, and I don't want anything to do with EOD till tomorrow, or if it's Friday till Monday. Clearly, that's not how we operate. I mean, we're hanging out on a Saturday, right? Right. But yeah, it's kind of sad, and I don't know where that may have gone wrong or what, but so trying to find people that fit that bill, like it's hard. So yeah, like big picture, like there's not a lot of us. There's not a lot of club members for the EOD Motorcycle Club. But what we do have is like we all are tied together and want to support the community. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. Because the being, there was a time, and probably only 5 years ago. Yeah, I think probably about 5 years ago. You can remember
5 years ago.
I know, right? That's about as far back as I can go. 5 years ago, where if you would have asked me what I was going to do when I got out, my answer, I didn't know what it was, but I knew it wasn't going to have anything to do with EOD. Yeah. That was my answer. It's like, I don't know. And it wasn't because I didn't like it, EOD. It wasn't because I didn't like the people. I love the people, right? Yeah. But it was like, I don't know. I was just kind of at that phase of my life where I was like, I don't want anything to do with this after. Yeah. And now obviously turns out I kind of do a lot of stuff with EOD after work. But yeah, it really is. There's like, I think there's like this, EOD asks a lot of you. Like the active duty side asks a lot of you. And sometimes it becomes hard to give all of that. But then there's like a point at which in your career or even after, and I think a lot of people would find, especially stuff like this, like the motorcycle club or not just the motorcycle club, but like there's a lot of people have a lot of different interests, right? And some of those have heavy tie-ins. There can be heavy tie-ins to EOD where it doesn't ask the same thing of you as the active duty side.
Correct.
They're not asking you to
pack a bag and go to Argentina.
Exactly, right? Which actually Argentina sounds kind of fun right now, but
it's getting cold here. I mean.
But yeah, I think for me there was like kind of a switch, and I don't know what it was. I don't know how it happened, but I kind of was like, okay, I'm actually actively involved in wanting to stay in the EOD realm, not, well, sadly, also in the active form. I'm about to re-enlist, but
sucker,
right? Everybody asked me, they're like, when are you about to get out? I'm like, I'm about to make a terrible decision to re-enlist. But
financial security, it's something you want to understand, guys. Don't worry about it.
Exactly. But no, it's there's something to like being with a bunch of EOD people that have a lot of similarities in experiences where you can share something outside of EOD with them. Like the motorcycle part,
right?
Like, yes, you got drawn to it because you were all EOD, but the thing that you can share, and you don't have to sit there and talk about, in Iraq here.
Oh, we do that all the time. We talk about ordnance, yeah. Like, actually, so some of the old guys that like work the grid and stuff like that, like, listen to some of their like old calls, blows their mind. Like,
that's awesome.
But no, there's not a lot of that.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool to have that shared experience that brought you to something to now share a different experience.
And I think for me personally, I was on a path already. Like, how can I connect EOD techs that do different stuff? I don't want you to join my club. You want to ride a bike? Cool. You can join the club if you want to. I'm not gonna like tell you no.
Yeah.
But what other organizations? Who else is out there like you that works with the EOD community? Like, why can't we all work together?
Right.
Like, right? Because think about it. We are, like, whether we think we are or not, like, our goal is EOD. Like, you're trying to tell stories, and who knows where it's going to go from here. Like, I'm seeing sponsorship for you. I'm seeing big things.
I like this. Keep talking.
But like, a buddy of mine, he makes cups. Inert. Damn it, Tyler, I love you. I really do. But it's inert something. But he makes cups.
The
mugs. Inert mugs. Yeah. If I just talk it through, I'll come up with it. But like him, like that's his way of giving back.
Yeah.
Tons of other organizations that I've recently started talking to, and don't be mad if I don't call you guys out. You know who you are. But like building this relationship, and in the end, it's the EOD community we care about. The EOD community we help. And whether it's, I don't know, if you needed to buy a home and you're an EOD tech, what's like one big advertisement you could think of? I don't know. EOD home buying kind of fits in a thing. Like, oh, hey, like, why don't I do that? Like, hey, it's pretty neat. So we all have our ways that we want to give back. And it's something, my drive is to like get that recognition out there and like, hey, let's work together. Sure, I'll throw it out there. I don't do social media myself. So like, I don't know what it all is out there, but I got people for that and friends and like, hey man. But something I want to do is like, just like, I want to do work together. Like you talk about the EOD, maybe car club.
Yeah.
That's nuts. So like there's a Corvette club out there and they get sponsored to drive from point A to point B.
Really?
Like people, they raise funds and then they usually give it to like St. Jude's. It's either Corvette or Camaro Club does that. And I was like, sparks interest in my mind. I'm like, I already like riding motorcycles. Don't tempt me to ride the four corners to give the money to somebody. Like who's going to sponsor that? Like if that's an idea, we can throw it out right now. Let's start talking. But, but bringing the organizations together and like making that known. Like I said, here to talk about the club, but like in the end, like we're all EOD guys trying to give back. And the things that I could talk about, because I know what we do. I know why I ride. I know why, my brothers ride. It's pretty big to be able to give back.
Yeah.
I was watching your temperature gauge go up. I was like, man, it's getting warm in here.
Yeah.
Should take my sweatshirt off.
If you want, I can open a couple windows.
It's good.
You sure?
Yeah, I like sweating it out. It's the hot seat.
It's what's funny is in the summer. So I've done podcasts in here, summer, winter, right? Winter, I have to have usually two, and I have to put them on different circuits, heaters in here. Cause the one I did, I think it was like the day before Christmas, which my wife loved. I
don't know what you want.
Yeah. That was a cold one. And then in the summer, it's terrible here. I don't know why I live here. I'm about to go to a hotter place. That's terrible.
Heck decision. Yeah. Smart decision.
But the AC is rolling. So, and like that's super loud. So I have to do a bunch of audio stuff to make sure that that's not whatever. But yeah, it was such a nice day. I didn't even
gorgeous.
Think about keeping us in with no airflow.
We just didn't know a bunch of hot bodies in here would, make it hotter.
That's true. That's true.
We'll just go with that.
Super, super hot bodies.
Says the Navy guy.
Yeah,
traditions.
Living up
to the stigma.
Stereotypes. Yeah, stigmas. There you go. Yeah. Oh man, what was I gonna say?
I'm sorry.
Got me all flustered and hot. Well, I can't remember what I was gonna say, but and I can't remember the word you used.
I probably won't either.
You definitely will. So your colors. Going about the difference between a motorcycle club and just a group, like where does that line shift?
You want to get into history?
I like history. That's part of this podcast.
It is. It's probably the main part. So specifically ours, or okay. So when we were founded, our founder was like, I want to be an EOD Motorcycle Club. He was a Marine, smart guy, of course. Might have been the Army first, but either way, he was Army. Maybe he was Marine that came Army. You know what? He was a Marine. That's what we go with. But he chose to be a motorcycle club. So when you start digging in, and that would have been like the early 2000s, like you start looking at that, like what does that entail to be a motorcycle club versus a riding club versus a motorcycle association? And when he was choosing his path, that he chose that he wanted to be a traditional motorcycle club. Which, do you know a lot about the history of motorcycle clubs?
Not really, honestly.
Okay, so a lot of people, if you're into the bike world, like it goes back to Hollister, California.
Okay. I actually know where that is.
They make clothes out of there still.
That's true.
So it used to be nothing out there, a lot of nothings out there. And they would used to have, so post World War II, all right, I'll give a little snip out, they used to train guys to ride motorcycles in the war. You see some of those old movies, right? Like,
yep.
No suspension, just
just
riding a horse, right? Like, and so when they came home after the war, like rumor has it that they missed riding bikes. So they started riding bikes and they missed the brotherhood because the war was over. Like you and I talked about prior to this, like there's cycles, like war's over, things drop off. Like, oh, what do we do now? Like, well, during the war, when we get off work, we'd hang out together and, still have that camaraderie. So that's what they were doing. They would actually have motorcycle clubs and they would do races, like stock car races and anything else to go racing and stuff. It was all sanctioned by the AMA, American Motorcycle Association. I'm trying to be brief with this, but the Hollister event, I'll botch the year up. So I'm not 47. I've had to learn like code and, so 47, I just said 49, but 47. So an incident happened. A bunch of people were racing. The cops got involved and they didn't like the rules and like the backlash of everything was going down. So they called broke away. So they took, back then riding patches were like one colors.
Okay.
And they broke them and they're what we track. And, I'm a young guy. So I believe what I hear. Is they're broken into 3 pieces, but not every club's a 3-piece patch. But they broke into 3 pieces, and they said, hey, like AMA had a 1-piece patch essentially. If you want to ride with them, that's what you wore and you raced. Well, we still want to race, we still want to do stuff, but we're going to be 3-piece patches. Because they even then, like they had names of like where they're from, like X Club from Stockton.
Yeah.
So like they like those are the Stockton boys, you know. So they broke away, and then time after went on, and then you came like the 1%ers. Like, well, but within that, like within the 3-piece patch club, there's still veteran clubs. Like there's still guys like, hey, we're a vet club, we're a vet racing club. And our founder was like, hey, I want to be a traditional motorcycle club, which was how the 3 pieces broke away. And we want to be a vet club. So that kind of within that gives us the rules.
Okay.
Like you can look like, hey, here's the rules to fit these.
Yeah.
So if you are a veterans club, you shouldn't go be a 1% club, because 1% clubs, they don't believe there are rules for the rest of the world. They want to do their own thing. Like, okay, cool. Like, well, we'll follow these rules because that's what we want to do. So it's nothing that we chose. The guy, you know, our founder did that. So he built the club off of that. In doing so, it kind of helped write our bylaws and what we do and how we do operate. Trying to figure out which rabbit hole do you go down next. And obviously, so I'll start with like the colors. The obvious colors: silver on black. Like silver stands for, I'd give you one guess, the crab. Like it's really weird how the badge fits, right? And the black is for a memory honor of. So like that's us simple. Like
that's awesome.
It shows who we live for and why we represent it. We don't take claim of territory at all. Why do we ride? We ride for the fallen and their families. So our bottom rocker says forever, because we don't want that to be forgotten about. Just like the EOD Memorial Committee has the big wall. Like that's not going to go away overnight. Like it's gonna take a lot for that to go away. So kind of a similarity on like how they might fit in together. That's pretty much like our colors, pretty much straightforward. And now with us doing that, we have to obviously abide by some of the motorcycle culture rules that we kind of talked about, like offline and stuff. And there was a period of time for our club where some of the members didn't want to do that. Yeah. And they're still like, so part of our prospecting period is we want you to know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
It's not scary. I mean, I did it and I was a timid little boy from Minnesota. But knowing what you're getting into and how to operate within that. And so at that time, there was a bunch of like law enforcement folks said, hey, we're getting feedback from our bosses that they're going to fire us because it's known we associate with X clubs. And it's like, me now, I look back like, okay, like, is it we associate? Like, words mean things. Like, all you guys are huge words mean things, guys. Yep. So it's like, so what does that really mean? Like, I'd have loved to sit in that room and be like, okay, like, what's really going on?
Right.
Like, I don't know. In the end, we decided, like, the clubs decided, like, we're not going to be with you guys. Like, all right, cool. So pretty much there's a line in the sand, and those that wanted to continue to be part of a traditional motorcycle club crossed the line, said, hey, I want to do that. And the others didn't. And they formed the EOD motorcycle group.
Yeah.
My tongue, it's almost got me again. So in my mind, I came way after the fact. Like, no harm, no foul. Like, we have members in our club that were part of the motorcycle group. We still talk to them. We openly ride with anybody. Like, you don't have to belong to a club. Like, you just want to come ride with us. Like, you want to come ride in the escort. Like, we might figure something out.
Right.
But like, there's things that we're open to 100%, because in the end, what do? We're for EOD guys.
Yeah.
I guess fell off the colors thing a little bit, but
no, that's fine. And that actually, it makes sense, that the last part that you said, where like come ride, but the escort thing, that there's differences. Like not having been part of an official club or anything, right? Having ridden with people and ridden, honestly, now that I think about it, like it was actually really stupid because we did some big rides where it started from Stockton. It was a support the troops ride. And actually it would be really interesting to see if there's some way we could tie you guys in with this, because they still do it, but it was insane. It was just absolutely insane how many people, because it would start in Stockton and go all the way to San Francisco, and every couple of towns they would stop and pick up a group of people. The group in Pleasanton that I was at, I think we had over 1,000 people that added to the ride. It was huge. It was insane. Yeah. And like thinking back now, I'm like, how did we not just screw that up royally? You know,
someone probably smart, good organizational skills.
Right.
Let's play this off.
Right. But thinking about that, like when you're in a big ride, when you're in a big group, you need to have some sort of validation that it's not just a dude that bought his bike last week and is like, hey man, I'm good at riding. Like, okay, hop in. You're the lead. Like, that's not going to happen. So that kind of stuff makes sense, right? Like, and
being a Marine, we all had to like have our motorcycle mentorship program. I don't know if the Navy, I mean, I think you guys started.
Yeah, we got, yeah.
But, like, even think of that though. Like, where do you put your most inexperienced riders? You put them up towards the front. Why do you do that? Well, whoever's leading the route knows the route. They can keep an eye on them. The people that have some experience behind them can watch them and give them guidance when you stop and talk like that. So like, there is a method, is whether or not we want to choose to do it smartly or be those jerk offs riding wheelies down 95 and traffic.
That's what I used to be.
Good for you.
Be quiet on that.
You're still here.
No, that's that's good. Man, there was something else on the riding. It was color adjacent. I can't remember.
I apologize.
No, you're good. This is a me thing, not a you thing. No, that's I think it's good having this conversation, because like I don't have preconceived notions to certain things, and part of it is like I did a lot of crap before I came in the military. Like a huge benefit to like coming in was your 23. I turned 23 in boot camp, and like,
and no college degree.
Nope.
I was just guess.
I'd been to college, but I actually chose it. I won't go into the whole story, but I had 3 choices. Not sure if I chose the best choice, but glad I didn't choose the worst choice. One was everything involved selling everything I owned.
Oh boy.
So I did that. I sold everything I owned. One was go play poker in Vegas full time. Probably a good thing I didn't do that. One was take a scholarship offer, may have been more lucrative. And the other one was join the Navy. So who knows?
You can't think about the past.
Exactly.
You made a decision, right? It's like room clearing.
Stuck with it.
Just go. You got to enter and just go. You don't stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I chose that, came here. Now I'm here. Man, I can't think of what I was.
I'm trying to think of where you're going with that too.
Yeah. See, sometimes what I do on here, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, and then I have a conversation like this where I try and just say a few things, and in my head I'm trying to think of, okay, where was I? And then it just doesn't work out. But no, the riding and tying it into EOD, still doing it. It's not working.
Yeah, I not sure. But like you talk about like preconceived notions, and I don't know if that was part of it or not. But like some of it is, I'm all about dispelling anything. Like I'll tell you almost everything that I can without giving away like people's social security numbers and stuff. Which
I mean, I don't know if you've heard stories of the Navies. We do that too.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But I think it's huge. Like being for us, there's nothing to hide. It's like being transparent. And like, I guess, so the one thing I always ran into years after years, being just a member of the club is like education. And we know what we know. We know what we think we know what we don't know, but you hear stuff and you're like, oh, hey. And so I've always been a believer of like I'm approachable, whether I was talking to somebody in the recent past and they're like, wow, when we just see you guys out and about, like you guys are just like postured, your arms are crossed, you're in a circle, so it always looks like you're talking to each other. And I was like, but tell me an EOD group that doesn't do that.
100%. 100%.
And it's like, but you can approach us. Like, no one's gonna bite your head off. Like, but it's like, you think about it, I'm like, yeah, I definitely know what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
but you go back to like ninth grade speech class. Like, it is so hard for me to not sit here and cross my arms and be like, yeah, man, like, tell me about how you feel.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
all right. Like, so like making notes. And when I was told that, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, some people get so far removed, or because we have guys, not everybody retires out of the club, so it never had to be a E7, E89 in the military. And knowing when you're standing, giving briefs, I'm a firm believer of giving a brief with your hands in your pockets, especially to EOD guys. I got yelled at. I was doing a teach back for this job I was trying to go for, and I had my hands in my pockets, and the instructor was like, "You gave a pretty good brief." It's like 5 minutes. So that's pretty good, except you had your hands in your pockets. And I looked at him and said, "Sir, you never taught the EOD hit before, have you?" I was like, "They don't believe you unless your hands are in your pockets." So I tested the theory I was in Texas teaching this device, and there was me and a Seaburn guy, and I taught my hands in my pockets. I was like, all right, now the class is over. Like, who do you believe more throughout the day us giving the classes? And they're like, you. And I was like, why? Like, so you had your hands in your pockets. And I was like, well, I got the recording, right? That's going to the guy. Like,
That's awesome.
Totally not where that was a spit off, but
No, that's actually that ties into what I was thinking. The idea of like a motorcycle club, right? You see, if you haven't been around guys that ride, right? You see generally like a big dude, got hair, got a beard.
I don't know who you're looking at.
Intimidating, right? Like the arms folded, whatever. Like you said, though, like that's not to exclude. That's just the way we are, right? But you see that on TV, and what does TV show you? They show you the 1%er side of it, right?
Yeah.
And then all the bad things associated with that, right? And so the education side, like I was excited when we thought about like, hey, let's throw this podcast together, right? The purpose of my podcast, which yes, I'm the host of it, but the purpose of my podcast is really like the EOD community, right? Yep. The whole goal of every episode is not what do I want to hear from Hart, not what do I want to hear from X guest. It's what do they want to share, right? What do they want to get out there so that the EOD community, and then by association, whoever else can hear about it, right? And
maybe Joe Rogan one day will pick you up, you know?
Right? Like, I mean, come on, man.
I was a dime drop, my bad.
I like it. But it's get that awareness out there so that if you have that preconceived notion that a motorcycle club is X, like, no, there's some history that motorcycle clubs all kind of like come from, but really that history is from veteran organizations. Like, and
when you break it down, for sure, like that's where we started from. Like you said, the Hells Angels, their name, their logo came from an air squadron.
Yep.
Whether people know that or not, but ours is cool. You know, we're just EOD guys. Like, we blow stuff up.
It's even cooler.
But no, it's I I don't know if people do know that. Like that's we came from somewhere, and so part of that, I guess, is twofold. Is like we do have a legacy to uphold of our 3-piece patch, our traditional motorcycle club. Whether people might not agree with everything, that's guess what? That's fine. In my opinion, that's fine. You don't have to. But in the end, like especially if you're an EOD tech, like we're working towards the same goal.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's, for me to you, like I don't see anything bad about it. But
Yeah, I think not diving into everything associated with that, but when you join an organization, right?
Pick one, right? Pick any organization.
Exactly.
I'm assuming where you go with this.
It's crazy to think that Jerron Clark, will change this organization because of what Jerron Clark wants. Yeah. They should all, from history and future, change because of that. When you go into any special programs, when you go into EOD, you join to become a part of that, not for that to conform to you.
Right.
And then when you look at it too, like there is a massive difference, not a massive, there is a distinct difference between what EOD Motorcycle Club is and what you are trying to continue, right? Versus what some other motorcycle clubs and where they went, right? They may have been a veteran organization and now they've deviated to something that you don't want EOD Motorcycle Club to conform to, right? Yeah. Which is exactly what you're talking about. Like you've got this history and it started with the original president and now you're here to make sure that it stays true to what the ultimate goal is, which is serving the EOD community.
Yeah. And yeah, there's a whole lot. I mean, you left like a big,
I tend to do
a gorge, right? A gorge. There's a gorge to cross. Let's go one to the other. But like there's a lot that goes into that, and it is easy to get lost into. And I've seen it with a few veteran clubs when they start off, and I think if some people listen to this podcast, like, well, you guys did that too. Like when you're new, you're trying to find your way in a lot of things, and like. For instance, you talk about when you first owned your bike, like you did what you perceived that the bikes do, right? Yeah. So like, I'm sure there was some of that. Again, I wasn't around back then, so I don't know everything that happened. But knowing what I knew, I did decide to join the club, and from what I saw, I've read. You mentioned it earlier. It's like. Our club, we take some of that, and it comes from like OJT time as an EOD guy. Like being a Marine, like I couldn't pipeline, so like when I was OJTing, I cleaned toilets for, man, I want to say it was like 2 months, 3 months. I was part of that team.
Yeah,
and I was like the senior ranking sergeant, and the CEO came to me. So it was up, I forgot when, but I was a sergeant. Selection was coming up for staff. Board results were coming out, and the CEO was like, it was a small shop. He's like, you are the senior of all my guys, like even the techs. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, why are you cleaning toilets? I said, because they told me to, sir. I was a platoon sergeant. I was a headquarters platoon sergeant. So I had 30 dudes under my charge. Like, been to combat, no big deal. And like, I knew to fit into the EOD community, like you did what you're told. Mm-hmm. And he was like, don't clean toilets. So here I am in this little shop, hiding from him, cleaning toilets, taking out trash, making him think I didn't do it. Like it was a fun juggle, right? So
I
was like, oh man. But like taking that OJT time of things that you learn, you watch, you get on the tools. Like since I OJT, like there's more structured program, but like there's things that you did, and it's no different than being part of the EOD Motorcycle Club specifically, but a motorcycle culture. I think the difference that sets us apart from others is like we have a ridiculous planned out prospect guide of here's how you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we don't give it to you like, hey man, read this. Like you'll be better after you're done. Like it's readings, it's talking, it's writing, it's getting out exposure to other clubs and seeing the difference. And me personally, I prospected out of the Maryland area, and we'd go to events, and this one club sticks out. It was down in this area, and we were doing a poker run, and this club, he is as the patch prospect was sitting at a table. My patch was sitting at the table, and I was like just standing around, and like anticipation, like that's I've always been the thing. Is like, all right, what do you want next, right? So I was like, all right, bam. And then this other guy was like, look, just prospect. Like, I want you to be more like him. And I was like, dude, man, like it was a club we respect, like the culture respects, and it's like he just said that it needs to be more like us.
Yeah.
Like, we're a small like organization. I'm like, all right, like there's something to this, and that's when I kind of lit my eyes up. And throughout my time in the club, like I've seen things that lets me know that my lineage, our history for the club, how we got brought up in the motorcycle community was done correctly.
Yeah.
Because we are respected. Like it's to get respect, you have to give respect.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel within the motorcycle world, we've done it right. There's a recent story of one of our brothers broke down in an area, and we're like, we made a phone call, and we're like, hey man, we need some help. We have nobody in the area. Like, do you know somebody that can help us? And that club was like, yeah, no problem. We're like, okay, what does that mean? And like, they sent dudes out to pick him up, take his bike back to their shop, and like got him fixed up.
That's awesome.
And the guy that picked him up, he goes, so you ride with us? And he was like, no man, I'm EOD. And the guy's like, who? He was like, the EOD Motorcycle Club. He's like, I never heard of you guys. He's like, but the person who told me to come get you has heard of you.
That's
so you must have done something right along the way. Like, and like they fixed the dude's bike. The dude went out and picked his bike up, hasn't had a problem since. But
that's
like,
awesome.
So that's like a really recent example of like, hey, I trust that what happened in my past, in the club's past, we did do stuff right. And it is respected out there amongst the motorcycle community. So I feel, Hart feels that part of the world's good. Like we are good there. Where am I lacking? What's not good in my heart?
Yeah.
And it's the EOD side of the house. And it's something like I've been working on. And like last year, I kind of like started diving into it before. I just want to do something different. Like want to do something better within the club. And well, here I am. But yeah, like getting that out there. Like, so I can focus on that because I know this is true. Our past, the motorcycle culture is right. And we keep doing it. Like I have no doubt we keep doing it right. And,
yeah.
But how would I do the EOD community better? Like I want to do better.
Yeah.
And that's part of what I got brought up in. Like I said, I think earlier was my first step into USC was like, hey man, like this is a legacy. What are you going to do? What's your legacy for the EOD community? And I was like, man, I don't know. I guess here I am. So I guess I think I know now.
No, I like that. I think in EOD terms, and then I'll have a question related to all services in the motorcycle club. And I say that out loud so that I remember what the question is.
Okay. I'll try to remember.
In EOD terms, hold on. I heard a noise and it scares me. All right. We had some amateur difficulties. That's my fault.
To our benefit, AC's on.
Yeah. No, I know we were talking earlier about the motorcycle club, and technically it's almost like a bad word, but
sure,
it's an outlaw club. But what does that actually mean?
Well, the rumor does get spread. Like either we are outlaws or hang out with outlaws or what. Like okay, so yeah, going back to where it came from was back to the Hollister event. Pretty much when the guys that rode with in that group with the AMA and with the rules, they're like, hey man, like we don't want to follow your rules. They broke off. They made their own patches. They formed their own I don't think they formed an organization, but they just did their own thing.
Yeah.
So when you start doing that, like, well, I'm sure back in the 40s, like, you're an outlaw.
Right.
Like, if you listen to like rock and roll instead of there's another type of music, but like, you're an outlaw. Like,
Yeah.
Hank Williams Jr. was an outlaw,
Yeah.
right? What's an outlaw? Someone who like takes the mainstream and changes it a little bit. So like, that's where it happened in the motorcycle community. They're like, hey, like, we're not going to follow your rules.
Yeah.
We want to do what you do because, well, we're good at it, obviously, because we're still doing it, but we don't want to follow your rules.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I think outlaw definitely has outlaw cowboys, right? Have you ever heard cowboy before?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, UD's a bunch of cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I slash that under like misinformation maybe because like, we're not. I could say we as our club, the EOD Motorcycle Club, is not an outlaw organization. We don't support you. I got nobody else says I support anybody. Like we have no viable commitments with anybody, which does make us unique. I like to say I don't know a whole lot, but I've been around a lot, so I can't. That's a lie. I don't know too many clubs that if they got approached by a 1% club, it says, hey, who are you loyal to? There's not a lot they can say nobody.
Right.
Like, we are loyal to ourselves, to our cause. And by what we have done, the way we laid our groundwork, the founders, the brothers before us that started this, like, they made that possible. And everybody is okay with that. When we go to a new area, chime in this one a little bit. Going somewhere for the first time, like a clubhouse, meeting someone new, like you, we bring a bottle of Tennessee's finest. I love you, Scooter. George Dickel. George Dickel we chose as our club drink. It is now owned by a giant conglomeration of people.
Yeah.
But when we started this, it was not. It was a mom and pop facility, small town. They had their beliefs. Tons of stories with how terrible George Dickel could be if you drink the wrong version, like the black label. But some people like it. Some people mix their bourbons, you know?
Yeah.
But so when we go to a new area, new clubhouse, we take our bottle of whiskey, describe who we are, what we are, like I kind of talked about earlier, the rabbit hole of like, here's how we believe by our set of rules. This is how we, the EOD motorcycle community, choose to live our life. We have a code that we follow based off of everything that led up to that point, and sticking to our code, our 8 points, and I think it does us really good and allows us to do what we do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think you know, when you hear outlaw, you like a lot of people would think law breaking. That doesn't mean it.
Right.
Like, that's not you're not a club.
The Dukes boys were outlaws.
Yeah. Right. There's a lot of people. It's so funny how actually man, it's funny you bring those examples up because there are so many examples of how a word brings a connotation, however, the exact opposite for the same people that believe that, oh, this motorcycle club is an outlaw club. Like, that must be this scary thing, right? Yeah. But like, then you watch what we were talking about a minute ago, a cowboy movie, and you got the outlaw cowboy, and you're like, yeah, man, get him. And you're like, wait, so, okay. But, you know, bring it up to get that background. Because again, the history is important. Like, what is an outlaw, but more importantly, what is the club? And I think we've highlighted that multiple times, that like the club's purpose is the exact opposite of what a connotation of an outlaw is.
Right.
Which is awesome.
And you know, again, for the, I don't know, 7th, 10th time, thank you for having us on to like get over that hump. But like, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what people do know about us, but like, how do I know some of that stuff is out there because it's been said to me, and I don't know, like, say, I don't know what else is out there. Feel free, like, hit me up, hit us up. Like, I would love to dispel rumors. I want to show, and so that's something to think about too. Like, as a parent, really weird I'm saying this out loud. Like, how do you show somebody if I've done a bunch of bad stuff, how do I prove to you that I'm actually good? You know, and I felt that way a long time, because I got told I was not allowed to wear my colors, my cut, onto the compound, if you will. And I was like, but why? And he's like, well, I'm protecting you. And I was like, let's have a chat. I'm excited. Like, well, how are you protecting me? I'm already on base there, mister. Like, I'm not trying to be argumentative. I'm not trying, like, my mind switched to, like, I want to teach you. I want to learn. But for me to learn, I got to know what you're thinking. And he brought up an incident of EOD guys going out in town. An incident happened between them and another motorcycle club, and turned to this big ordeal. And he's like, I have to protect my guys, and to do that, they can't know where you work. I was like, fun fact, if they know who I am on the outside of that gate, they know who I am inside the gate. Like, I ride the same motorcycle, man. Like, I don't understand. So like, sadly, like sometimes a conversation can't be a conversation, and it'd be a lot cooler if it could be. If we could just sit down, what's conflict management 101 or conflict resolution? Sit down and talk about your problems.
That's actually a great point. If anybody out there that is, especially if you ride and you had any interest or have any interest in joining the EOD Motorcycle Club.
Are you soliciting for us right now? I don't know if I can condone that.
But and you're concerned about X, Y, or Z. You know, like, see it in Navy EOD. I'm sure it's in every other service EOD, and then in also every other job. There's a bunch of people that are concerned about things but aren't willing to, like, pick up the phone or walk into an office and ask the question. You're hearing, like, just pick up the phone, shoot an email. We'll put some contact links in the description, and ask the questions. If you have a concern about X, Y, or Z, ask the question to get the actual information.
Definitely bring it up and ask. Like, I myself, but there's others I've ran into. It's crazy. There's other EOD techs and other motorcycle clubs. What? Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I could name off, I know 3 off the top of my head. Guess what? Like, it doesn't bother me. Well, it doesn't ruin my day. Because in the end, kind of like what you talked about earlier, is like the transition period. Like, I'm just going to use transitioning as a starting point for the conversation. I'm getting out of the military. I need to find my belonging, whatever that is, and finding my group of people. Man, I had a word for that, or I lost it. But, like, a group of people that I get along with, I can associate with, that I'm comfortable with. Like, it may not be us. Like, you may not like me. That's fine. I don't care. I do, but I don't.
Right.
But, like, finding that, like, those techs did find that, and they are like, that's great. So it's not, make sure I'm here tooting the motorcycle club, but, like, having that, knowing that there's others out there, like, doesn't mean it's bad. Like, nobody's wrong by any means. And I think that goes to show of, like, hey, like, someone had something they want to look for, and we may not be a fit, but guess what? Like, we know enough people, or as we alluded to during our technical difficulties that I think we'll dive into here soon, is, like, there's other organizations that you can help with if that's something that you're interested in. Being, after I transitioned, I retired. I was doing handyman work down in the North Carolina area there, and the amount of the EOD connections that you make, realtors, other people that do handyman stuff, or other things that, like, lawn care you pull from, like, hey man, I want to go on vacation. We talked about, I want to go on vacation. I got 7 yards to be cut next week. Like, hey man, I want a reputable person to do it. Who am I going to call first? I'm going to call an EOD guy. Like, I've always done that. Like, hey, can you cut these yards for me while I'm gone? Like, however, this is what I pay. I don't know what you charge, but this is what I charge them. That's, like, if you're good with that, like, I'll give it to you. I think that's huge. Like, finding your place, no matter what it is. But definitely, like, talk to us. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. In the end, just talk, have a conversation, like just a starting point.
Right. Yeah. It mentioned to one of the other things we were talking about. And you know, a lot of people do it for transition. I don't want to say reluctantly not lining up for transition, but
Gotta have a plan B, man.
yeah, my plan B is still the military. Crap. But no, I just went to, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, the EOD Warrior Foundation put on a thing where we did the songwriting for soldiers out in Nashville. And like most of the guys there were either retired or separated.
Yeah.
And the experience that I had was awesome. Eventually I'll get up the courage to do a solo podcast about that experience, but it's way easier just to talk to somebody else about things that they want to talk about. So
I support it. I'll come be your MC when you want to talk about it.
Excellent. But it was a super, super good experience. And I got a ton out of it. I know the Boulder Crest does a version of the songwriting for soldiers, and from what we were talking about, you did the Boulder Crest
I did
portion. Yeah. How was that for you? How was that experience?
It was huge. So I want to backtrack real quick, talk about you. How long was your experience? Like how
we got there Friday night, and that was the first portion was Friday night, and we left Sunday evening.
So. All right. So you pretty much had like an intro Friday, all day Saturday, and then you get your final product on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. It's a long time.
Yeah, it was.
All right. So
it was cool.
Oh man. So we did that in an afternoon.
Wow.
For the songwriting part.
Yeah.
Back to your question though, like, so I guess rabbit hole it with the transition part. And everybody has issues. Everybody has the word trauma gets thrown out there, right? But we're all different. So here's what I'm trying to like think of how to say it, but like journey, right? So everybody's a different spot in their journey. And for me, I went to Boulder Crest. One of my brothers was like, hey, I want to go. You should check it out. Well, I love this dude to death. He's been through a few things. And I was like, I'll go with you. I want to hold you accountable. I want to see, like, I want to know why you keep like rabbit holing, why you keep circling. Like, I don't understand. Currently at that point in my life, I had something I was trying to work on, specifically internally. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to take this opportunity just to be open-minded and learn. Maybe I'll learn something. So yeah, Boulder Crest picked me. There was the EOD group I went with. We had 9 individuals total. 2 Danes, which I'm going to send them this podcast. Like, shout out to my 2 Dane brothers.
Nice.
We had an Army SF dude. Dudes went through a lot. So like, for them specifically to look at an EOD group and be like, man, like we all are different. We have different jobs, different countries, different services. And to bring them into, we bring them into this little small group. We had all 4 branches of EOD there. Marine, Navy, Air Force. I want to say I think one of the guys was an Army guy. Minimum 3, but I think all 4 were there. And they were the first ones to say like, wow, like we never thought we would have so much in common.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came from the war. Like, that's a rabbit hole. I don't want to go down that, but it's huge. Like everybody's at a different point in their journey, where they're like, one guy, he's been out of the Marine Corps for a while, living, which he thought was a normal life. his therapy at the time, to throw his business out there, was painting.
Okay.
He's like, all right, I like to paint. Paint helps me. And he showed us some of his paintings. I know you said personally, but I'll get there. He had a lot of rage in his paintings, and he's like, "It's how I express my feelings." Yada yada yada. And it's like, it makes sense. And so our stuff was a week long. We got there on I showed up late. My bike broke down. They're like, "We want you to fly in." I was like, "It's Boulder Crest." I go to Boulder Crest every year. I go up there. We do the motorcycle ride. Another little shout out. Supporting that for years. I want to say it was probably since the first one that we are the dudes that pass out the poker run cards at the American Legion up there. Nice. And yep, that little town up there. Forget the name of it. No, God will strike me dead later. But we pass out the poker run cards, and at the end, we are at the front doors of Boulder Crest when all the riders come through. We take their cards, do the last draw, and then sort them out.
Nice.
So supporting the event, knowing about Boulder Crest for years, 12 years, I think, at the time. 13 years, I think we just did. So knowing about them for a long time. Been told a few years ago, like, you need to come through. And I was like, yeah. Yep, gotcha. Either way, so yeah, I finally did it. Going back to my buddy who, after his first class after Boulder Crest, or his first painting he did, and I told him, I was like, I want to see you at your first painting. It's like watching someone change. The big thing that we do, I say big thing, I think one of the noticeable things that we do at the PATH program at Boulder Crest, there's other programs out there. Like, it's not just at the Boulder Crest, Virginia. They have two in Texas, or one in Texas, one in Arizona. Not trying to screw it up, but the Zach Brown has a foundation, and he does something very similar. Southern Ground is what it's called. Okay. They do something. I know there's a few more. And they, as far as I know, they kind of work together and run like the same path thing. One of the things you do there is a labyrinth. And it's one of the most notable things that, again, I didn't see it for me, but I watched other people. And do you know the history of a labyrinth?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. It goes back to like the Spartan days. I probably even before then. But farmers would walk in the labyrinth, and you know what a labyrinth is, though, right? Like the big circle with like the.
Yeah.
And the whole idea, this is Hart's take on it, is the whole idea is in there. You're in your head. The moment, so they entered as farmers, knowing they're going to go to battle. So for us, entered as, in our mindset, soldiers, hurt soldiers. What comes out the other side, we don't know. But for the folks back then, they were coming out warriors. So you go through this labyrinth, in your head, you're thinking of everything. For them, it's probably their family, their farms, getting their head straight. For us, going through, and some of the other guys that verbally talked about it, was like, so I'm sorry, for us, before we entered in the labyrinth, they gave you there's a pile of rocks. And they said, hey man, like, we want you to carry a rock in. Like, that rock is your weight. And it's really funny to watch people pick up a rock. And like, EOD guys, we're stupid. So like, you walk in and you see a different size rocks, and you're like, I don't know, you're a big dude. What rock are you going to pick up? You're going to pick up the biggest rock, you dum-dum. So like, I have to watch people do this. And I think, I knew who was behind me, and I looked at the rocks, and I was like, I know this guy behind me is going to pick this rock up. He physically doesn't need to pick this rock up. Like, so I picked this rock up. And the rock represents the weight you've carried throughout your life. Doesn't matter what it is. And go through it. Long story short, by the time you walked out the other side of that labyrinth, I physically saw people stand taller. Like, that weight literally was like lifted off their chest. Very emotional. And for some people, like, I think for me, that was one of like the big kickers, was like, all right, like, people could say they felt something. Like, no crap. Like, I felt something coming out of that. I did as well. And you can see a change in people. And there's a bunch of stuff that goes through it. But I guess the point of the whole thing is, like, you're not broken. Like, when you go through the PATH program, people have gone through other things. Like my buddy, like he's tried other things and it just wasn't working. One of the guys, like there's so many programs out there. You can go down to Mexico and try some stuff that's regimented, I'll say. I'll leave it at that. I don't know a whole lot, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But different things work for different people. And I know me as a person, like I can fix myself. If I don't know the tools, I'll find it and get there. But that's kind of what Boulder Crest was definitely a huge help and opened my eyes to other things. Maybe I'm not a yoga nerd. I do yoga. It does help. I do stretch in the morning sometimes. Us little guys need it. But like Boulder Crest is huge. Going through and it's really like everybody understanding like, hey man, like we all pain, we all hurt. We all been trained a certain way. Like that's what we all have in common. You're not wrong, you're not broken. You're trained to, let's just say, defeat IEDs, to work on ordnance. Like your job as an EOD technician, like I think people forget, is to save lives. Like in the end, that's what our job is. You save lives. And how we do that depends on the problem, right? It's a problem. And so for this point for me, like my problem was, I'll just say it was anger. Like I had an anger problem. And going through and tried my way for a long time, it wasn't working. So I tried something else. I was like, all right, like this actually, it makes some sense. So here I am. I don't know. I think we went up in the springtime. So it's been an easy, I don't know, time flies when you're having fun. It's been a while, but to have people come up to me and say, like, I've noticed a change in you.
That's cool.
Like, that's a huge, like, pat on the back affirmation of like, hey, like, it did, something happened. Whether I don't want to say it did work, like, haha, it's a magic pill. But it's a lot of it's what you put into it. Just like everything else, right? Like you want to be a good EOD tech, you're going to work your butt off. I want to be a good freaking motorcycle guy. Like, I'm going to ride my ass off. I want to. How many hours does it take to be good at something? You ever hear that?
Yeah.
Came out of a book.
Yeah.
It's 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
You want to be good at something, you got to practice for 10,000 hours. But so the practice at doing whatever it is. And so at the end of Boulder Crest, we did our like Warriors, there's a dude for Song for Soldiers came out and we wrote our song, which is pretty neat. And to see somebody that this dude is a Nashville recording artist and to take the time to come listen to us, it's like, what do you believe in? This is again, Hart's take on it. What do you believe in to come do this? And because I don't see me as broken. I don't see me as messed up. Again, my journey was different. I'm in a different spot than other people were. And going through that, my mindset while I was there at Boulder Crest is like, what can I do to get back? What else? What, like we talked about, like you talk about like the car club, right? Like, so what can Hart do to give back? Definitely to the EOD community, but what am I good at? And so it made me do a lot of like hardcore thinking, and I spilled the beans to one of my guides up there, and he'll hold my feet to the fire. He reminds me every once in a while. I was like, hey, I told you I'm ready when you're ready. But I think something I want to dive into for giving back is I like to ride motorcycles. You kind of alluded to something earlier, but like wind therapy, like getting on a bike and riding, and you talk about like being tired, but at some point there's a point where your mind switches, where things click and everything's normal, and you're like, I call it I forgot the word I used with the lady the other day, but I was like, that's my mileage is 1,000 miles. Like my mind goes blank, and it's natural. It flows. I don't have to think about looking for that nail in the road, the pothole. I don't have to think about what that car is going to do. Like it's just all natural. It flows. And I think it's something I want to show people. Like, and I didn't know how to make the correlation to like normal life. So that's part of my journey, I think, is I want to go do this track hero stuff. Excited to go do it because she's like, I can show you that. I can show you. And like in my mind, I was telling her, I was like, how can I do that so good on a motorcycle? No problem. But yet I argue with a 10-year-old whether it's yellow or is that orange. Like, why am I arguing this?
Yeah.
Like, why can't it be like, you know what? Like, you're right. Like, you think that's orange? Maybe we'll just need to get your eyes checked. But I'll let you say it's orange. But I'm going to fight to death. That's yellow.
Yeah.
But having that, I'm like, why do I do that? So it's something like part of me, like I've recognized that I know stuff that I need to work on. And I think that's huge for everybody, which is one, I guess, bringing it full circle back. Like, that's why I care so much about the community.
Yeah.
I want to raise awareness with things that I know I can, and do, and not just talk about it. Like, we could talk about stuff, but I could be like you and just talk all day long and have people talk about stuff. But doing it, man, like you're doing it. Like, so like, 100% supportive. And that's what I'm working on, is just in my things that I'm good at.
Yeah. Yeah. It's important. I think, I know with me, and if I pretend that it's similar with others, there's some things that I'm super into, and there's other things that I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And so you finding that the way to convey what's worked for you will absolutely help a whole bunch of people, because there's going to be a ton of people that will work for. And so like having that as a goal is awesome, because there's probably a bunch of people that are similar to you that are like, man, I haven't found that way. Like,
yeah.
And I think, man, that's awesome, because there's obviously been several people before us who have found their way and then have been able to share that, and that's worked for a bunch of people. But there's always going to be that group missing that, you know, as you start striving to find how to convey that. Because when you said that, I was just run through a bunch of things that I won't mention, but there's a ton of things that, like, I can't explain how I know those things and how I know how to do those things. I just know how to do them. And a lot of those things don't kind of matter. Like, I don't need to find that, right? But when it comes to like, this is how I've been able to process and continue on, that's a thing that, like, if you're willing to, can definitely help a ton of people.
For sure. And man, like, you can rabbit hole so many things. And I just stopped talking to this lady yesterday. I was like, I'm so excited. I want to learn more about what you're doing so I can bring it back to the EOD community even more. Mm-hmm. Like, her and I were talking, and she's like, I love your idea. And sure, like, I'm all about supporting EOD dudes. Like, my dream thing would be taking guys to different locations. Like, it's been done before, but like taking dudes to like run like the Blue Ridge Parkway just for a couple days and showing them like the freedom, like the feelings, and talking about some stuff that we're uncomfortable talking about. Yeah. But where does that come from? Like, I have to be focused on like the EOD mission. Yeah. And you know, so I keep thinking in my mind, like, there's stuff that I want to do, but the club has actually allowed me to do that, because it helped me find myself. It helped me find that, like, I do enjoy riding. Like, I've always enjoyed wrenching on stuff. But bringing that and giving it that focus to go do these things, and, you know, at the same time, get the word about, like, hey, this is what we do. Why? So we can do these next things. So we can support these other EOD organizations that are trying to do this stuff for the same purpose. Yeah. So like, I have a lot of things, like how it kind of all peels together, but like, I want to get our message out there so we can help and just broadcast. Cause like, my thing might not, like, the EOD Motorcycle Club might be for you. Like, You don't want a motorcycle. Ooh. But like, what's your thing? But at some point, if I can help you find this guy, connect, or like,
Yeah.
what if like, due to our fundraising and our crowdsourcing and gathering, whatever you want to call it, like, we can help start this thing up, and like that is what you're interested in. So that's my 100% belief. It's not self-driven. It's community driven, and I think that's talked about all the things that get lost. Like, our club is community driven. Yeah. Everything that we do is for that.
Well, one of the things that I think is kind of interesting and cool to think about too is like, so I know in our community, there's a bunch of guys who do not trust people who don't have the same experience. Right. And so like,
yep,
you being willing to trust somebody that doesn't have the same experience to go out and learn this new thing so that you can then take it back and be that person that has the same experience to then share it and like open some people up. Like that's a very needed thing.
But how do you do that? Like, that's, I think about that. Yeah. But at some point someone took that shot with me.
Right.
Why? Because I OGT'd. Someone said, hey, I want this guy. Like, I read his paperwork, all 3-4 pages that I think we submitted on paper. Like, all right, like, I'll give this guy a shot. Because I've been that dude too. I've taken an OJT paperwork. I'm like, this dude better impress me. He better like be doing like 10 muscle ups in the bomb suit. Like, maybe I'll think about it, right? But like, for guys to say that, it does irk me. Personally, this is Hart, not the Hart irking me. Like, I'm only going to talk to an EOD tech that's seen combat.
Right.
Like, okay. So just say, let me talk to one of your former guests that's seen combat, I don't know, 1950. But that makes that dude feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? Like, combat does bind us, but like with the club, motorcycles bind us. But there's other stuff out there. Like, why? I don't know. That's one other rabbit hole, I guess, too. But like,
I'm totally with you in that, it's a thing that frustrates me. I see it in the Navy specifically a lot. Like, you got to have done an NSW team and gone with the SEALs and seen combat with them, and like, if you didn't do that, then you're a different thing, right?
Judging people off the ribbons.
Yeah, it's a thing, but it's not the accepting that it's the right thing. It's acknowledging that it is a thing.
Yeah.
And that's where you're like, okay, I acknowledge that there are people like that. And if I can be that person because I wasn't one, and I was willing to take a risk on somebody who didn't have any association with EOD, but they had this program that I went to and I learned a thing that I was able to then use and translate that into something that somebody who does think that way, who does think that, hey, nobody who wasn't EOD, nobody who didn't go to combat can understand me.
Yeah.
There are people like that, and you can have that effect on them, and then hopefully they can realize maybe it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe other people can, they don't have to have the same experience, and they can still understand a bunch of things.
For sure. I'm trying to think how to say this. I ran into a situation where, with this organization that I'm associated with, and I mentioned that I went to Boulder Crest, and she was like, tell me more. And I kind of told her about the stuff, and I think, forget how I was utilizing my position. Like, it was whatever, but I told her about it, and she was like, I have a Marine that is struggling. He won't listen to nobody, like us E89 types about our chest. But she's like, he's struggling with this, but he can't. The moment you say therapy, he's out the window. And think back to a lot of EOD guys. It's like, yeah, I get it. And like, don't know why therapy's a bad word, right? But like, I think that's what I do. I want to call it wind therapy. Like, stupid. It's like car therapy. Like, what happens when you smell blow up TNT on a range and you smell, or C4, you smell that? Tell me you don't get excited.
Yeah.
Right? We all get excited, like, oh, yeah. Like, therapy turns you off just like that. It's like, bam. So, like, but finding that, like, what intrigues you about that? But finding, so I was talking to her about it. And that's what she was trying to find for this guy. And I was like, I would love to try to help out more. However, like, once you start getting into the organizations, it can't happen.
Yeah.
And that hurts my heart. Like, I was like, I know I'm within driving distance of that dude, but I can't, they can't legally, like,
Yeah.
hey, like, go talk to the guy.
Right.
I was like, I'd love to. I was like, I'll volunteer my services. Like, how do I be consultant for you guys? Like, but no, like, we are our own, especially like anybody. Like, I'm not even just broaden outside of the military. Like, we are our own worst enemy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment if you won't accept help, no matter how it comes, like,
Right.
that's frustrating for people that want to help.
Yeah. Yeah. The first step, I think Scott and I talked about this, but the first step to be able to heal is to be willing. Like, you can't force someone into getting help.
Yeah.
And they have to be willing. And sometimes, though, you can not be offering necessarily the help, but like there's people that I know that, like, I know if I were to tell them, hey, you should go to this program, they'd be like,
Nope.
carry on with your life. I'm moving over there.
Nah, dog.
But you can be making subtle hints to like what I tend to do is talk about the things that have helped me.
For
Like,
sure.
oh man, yeah, I went to this program and it was super awesome. Or I went and spoke for EOD Warrior Foundation and like I got a bunch out of that. And like just throwing those things out can maybe make the difference to have someone, so that when they walk away from you, they're thinking, maybe that's something, you know? And, you know, if enough people around do that, then maybe, who knows, a week down the road, a month down the road, a year down the road, you never know. Maybe those are the little cues that open them up to be like, you said something about Boulder Crest. What is that? What was that program?
Yeah.
You think I could apply for that? Like,
And it's funny you say that, because like, I'll go back to me personally. I'm like, I don't need that. I again, 13 years I've been going up there on average. Like, I missed a couple, but like annually, like I've been going up there every year. I know what they do. Like, I say I know what they do. Broad scope, I knew what they did, because there's a lot. Even when I got interviewed for it, I was like, so what do you do up here? Oh, you know. I'm like, no, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. And like, you talk to dudes, like I knew a Marine that went through before me, and he was like, man, it changed my life. And I visually could see it. Like, I could tell it changed. But like, I was like, I don't know. Like, so I didn't know what to expect and stuff. But the first step, like you said, it's being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Even when we in position, wherever your position is, staff into IC, like in charge of dudes, me in this position, like, be vulnerable to take that step and show people like it is okay.
mm-hmm.
I am here to help. Other people are here to help. But we suck at asking for help.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I had something I was going to bring up. I forgot what it was. But yeah, it's almost like it's painful to ask for help.
Yeah.
It's like a lack of our manhood or something.
Yeah. I was talking to my wife about this the other day, and like part of my, like, and I still believe this, I've just adapted how I utilize it, or that's probably not a good way to say it, but I still believe this. Part of my job as a husband, the man in the relationship, is to take on those burdens. Like, my job is to suffer for the family. Like, and it would be awesome if I didn't ever have to, but like, when it comes to the finances, whether she's working or not, like, it's my job to ultimately, and this is me speaking, right?
My wife's gonna listen to this, so I'm shutting up.
Yeah. But like, there are things that of family needs that I don't talk to my wife about, because I'm like, she doesn't need to take that on for her. She's got her own things that she does.
Right.
That's my job to internalize, to suffer, to think about at night for way too many hours, and to fix. I think not everything that I take on internally, probably should I, but we do the same thing with EOD. We do the same thing in the military, that we're like, this is my thing. I need to suffer for this. Suffering makes me the better EOD tech. When, 20 years down the road, you're like, man, I probably didn't need to, like, turns out the guy down the hall could have solved that problem yesterday.
Oh man.
Like,
that's what I love about the brotherhood of the club. Like at any time, like old guys, young guys, like I think dudes are still active. Like, so you have a problem. Like, you don't want to talk to your shop though, right? You're like, I need to talk to somebody like outside. Like having this brotherhood, I can make a phone call. I'm like, I'm struggling. Like at one point, one of my bosses was in the club, so I couldn't talk to him when I had a problem about him. But I'm like, man, like I'm struggling with this.
Yeah.
And like just to have someone that I know I can call 1 o'clock in the morning, and that dude's gonna answer the phone for me, and like that proves to me like, hey, I have this brotherhood. Take it a step farther. Why can't I have this at work?
yeah.
Like, but it makes me like, I don't have that problem anymore. I got out, but I put a little bit of thought into that too, and like that's one thing I did love about EOD. Do because I preach it. It's like it's a family, right? Like, however, it's on the culture that you as a boss create.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something I got brought up with, was like, hey, this is the culture I want, and I took that to every shop. And as far as I know, my dude still did it. Everybody that I've ever taught, my name still happens to pop up from time to time, which sucks. But I go a little side note. I go to Charlotte Motor Speedway. I love NASCAR.
Nice.
I got some friends and places. But in May, every year they do like a huge military thing at Charlotte, and every branch of service is there: Army EOD, Navy EOD, Marine EOD. I know for sure there. I don't think the Air Force EOD was out there. Either way, I worked it, and my old shop got into being the Marine EOD detachment there. But like walking by this last May, I didn't know anybody at the table. Hey, I'm a little cocky, and I was like, hey man, like what do you guys do over here? Like start talking to him, and said something, and he kind of like stopped for a second. He was like, do I know you? And I was like, nope, never met you before. He was like, you might take your sunglasses off. I was like, nope. And he's like, you're on the wall, aren't you? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, like, you're on like the wall at the shop. And I was like, y'all have a good day now. Take care. But like, sure, there's a legacy left behind. That I was like, man, like, made me uncomfortable. And I should be like, yeah, dude, like, this is who I am. And I ended up telling him. Like, he chased me down.
That's funny.
My wife's like, come on. I was like, no. All right, fine, whatever. But yeah, like, that's my goal. Is like, I think I've said it several times, but like, legacy's huge.
Yeah.
Whether what, good or bad, like, it's just there's something's gonna be left behind, and teach my kids the same thing. And sadly, in a good way, my oldest wears the same badge I used to wear, the basic badge.
Nice.
But that's what, like, you teach them that, and like I gave them here's my 14 years of experience. Like, find something, hone on it, and learn on it, and go from there. Like, at some point, you're gonna be called to, like, I don't care. Like, some reason I always had to be the chem guy in every unit. I was like, hey, we need to do chem. Like, you're the guy because you're at Seaburf. And I was like, I was EOD, man. Like, I don't know what chem does. Like, I good at it, but no. Totally forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, legacy's huge.
It is.
You never know what you're going to leave behind. And again, that's why I'm on your platform.
Yeah.
Tooting the horn.
Yeah, it's important. And like, because you never know what you're going to leave behind, that's why you have to be careful of like all the things you're doing throughout
Facts.
every day. Like, you know, you mentioned being an official motorcycle club. It can have a connotation, and other clubs have made that to not necessarily, and the first thing that somebody who doesn't have any association with it may have a negative one.
Yeah.
But you setting a standard, having a plan for prospects, having you know, a guideline for how and what the EOD Motorcycle Club does sets that legacy that
Right.
when people hear it should be a positive one.
You saying it that way actually made me think of something as a prospect. So right, prospects hell. We don't. I said I watch bikes. Like I watched a bike one time. There are rumors out there, and they know who they are if they ever hear this, that they won't join our club because they don't want to prospect. Like, all right, man. Like, you pick your hill to die on, I guess, if that's how you want to believe it. But I think back to my prospect time, and I had fun. It was a good time. It is what you make of it. And my first thing, I guess, when it came to like the whole legacy piece, because you gotta learn where you're from to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And so doing a bunch of research and stuff, like I made a thing. I did a thing. And got a couple of prospects involved. But what I look back, what did that do? Is it made me and those prospects tighter as prospects to the point where I got a call from a patch member. He's like, you need to stop hanging out with that prospects. All the prospects, you guys are hanging out too much. We are uncomfortable. And I was like, oh, we're doing something right then. Like, I was 30s, young EOD guy. I'm like, if we're making people uncomfortable, that means I know we're doing something right.
Yeah.
Because we're showing them like, hey, like we can get along, we can talk. And like one of the things is like, man, I call it a game. But as we're like just talking during the technical difficulties, I'm the type of person that if whatever my position is, doesn't matter, husband, dad, I anticipate the next move. So one of the things we had to do as prospects is like, I had to know what that member drank. Why? So when they're like, hey man, I'm thirsty. Guess what? Before you say you're thirsty, like, here's your Yingling. Like, there you go, bud. And it's like, well, how'd you know that? Like, just trying to be smart. Like, I'm trying to learn. What does that do? It learns the brotherhood. Learns it. We used to let people come in as prospects with road names, and road name obviously like EOD is a nickname, right? Like something like I don't know, Dupenheim or Gigerschmitz or something. I don't know. Like that's what I'm gonna call myself when I join this thing. But something I saw change is like, you know what? Like, but who are you? Like deep down, like who are you? And that's something like cool that I could say I was involved with, was like, I want to know who you are. I want to know everything about you, like your real name, your family, because we're EOD folks. Like, what do we do that at our job? Yeah. I feel I did. But I grew up in that family culture. So be able to take that, apply it to the club even more. Totally lost for the whole prospect thing. But like, I made this thing to know that, so like I could pass something down to like the next prospect. Like, so if I ever got patched into the club, like that guy doesn't have to start all over, because that's part of the game. It was at that time. It's part of the game. Like when you're the new guy at the shop, like, all right, like go give me like 8 yards of flight cord.
Yeah.
Like what? Like all the stupid stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's be smarter. Like I'm gonna show these guys a thing or two.
Right.
Seemed to work. Damn it. Just lost my train of thought again. Must be the AC.
I know, right? It got too comfortable.
Yeah, I'm so comfortable now. I'm just forgetting stuff. No, you have any other questions? I'm trying to think.
No, I think we've kind of hit like the majority of
We've talked about a lot.
Yeah. I guess, not necessarily saying this is the end, but what do you have for like the listeners, with the idea being that the majority of the listeners are EOD? What do you
Let's hope
have
so.
for them? Like, whether it's for the club, for you as Hart, just what you would want to pass on?
Do better. That's what I told my Marines.
Yes.
No, I guess showing up here as like the club president, just know that the EOD Motorcycle Club is here to help the community. We do a bunch of stuff for the community, and hopefully, like, look for us. Like, sure, we talk about socials, like we got our stuff out there. Like, we do things. I know EOD guys don't always like to be known what we're good for. Well, at least like the Marines don't. The Navy guys. But it's something that I, realize, like, nobody knows what you do unless you tell them. Yeah. So like, I can't buy rights. I can't tell you I did this for this guy, this for that guy, or whatever. But I want everybody to know, like, hey, like, we do go help people. You don't have to join the club. If we, like, the spaghetti dinner by chance, we had 2 guys that were not 3 guys show up that were not part of the motorcycle club, but they came to help us, like, do something along the lines with the spaghetti dinner. Usually we have a few more. That's just one example. So, like, definitely, like, if it's something, if you don't know where to start, like, hit us up and, like, try to join one of the events that we'll do, and check it out. I don't know what Hart says. But I don't know, I've enjoyed this. This is
I have too.
I talked to somebody yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah. And she was telling me that she watched a podcast on how to be on a podcast.
Oh, yeah?
And I was like, what? That's out there? She's like, yeah. And I was like, give me the quick synopsis. I ain't got time to watch their podcast. But it's like I said for you a few times, like, I dig what you do, and I saw a few of them out there, and it's something I was trying to learn. It was like, what other EOD stuff is out there? Because I want to support how somehow. And support goes a lot of different ways. Right. To just showing up and talking on your podcast versus, like, I don't know, buying you studio equipment or something. Buying you a better, you have a good RV. I can't say that. But yeah, like, just getting it out there. And then I think we kind of talked about it. And I think we talked a while ago about giving back.
Yeah.
And I think it's read a bunch of stuff. Robert, oh man, I'm going to mess his name up. He wrote a bunch of books. Starts with the K. I got TBI. Did I say that? I said I got TBI, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. That guy.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
He, and one of his many things that he wrote about, he's like, the moment you start giving back, as hard as it might be, things will start happening a lot.
Yeah. Like,
for you. And I think, me personally, like, me looking back at my life, I don't want to say this. I don't want to sound a certain way, or, like, knock on wood or anything, but, like, when you can live selflessly, it speaks volumes, and there are good things that do come from it. So I do believe in giving back, and good things will happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what it had to do with anything, but, like, I wanted to say that earlier.
No, it's true. People notice when you do things, not because you want something in return. When you're just doing things for, motorcycle club, for the community, because the motorcycle club wants to support the community.
Yeah.
Not because they want to get something back, or you as an individual are watching someone's dog because they need to go on vacation and you're not expecting something back. That 100%. people in like the universe. It does. It notices. And it's probably something that changes in us too. Like when you start doing that,
yeah,
you get things back.
It's not about you anymore.
Exactly.
Right. And when you're worried about you as a person, you're like, give me.
Yeah.
What's in it for me? If you can change your mindset, like it's because everything, right? Like you popped a tire in your car driving down the road and you're that kind of person. You're like, why did that have to happen to me?
Right.
Well, that thing happens to a lot of people, to be honest with you.
Yep.
But first, let's look at your tire and see that your tire like, could be a little bit better shape. But
yeah,
no, for sure.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you, sharing about the club. Like I've known a couple people that were, we'll call it club adjacent. But I didn't know a ton about it. So like this was cool to learn a lot more about the club in general. But then like just, it's awesome to have people on that have something to do to give back to the community. And like that is sharing that so that other people have, that can hear this and have more resources. And then also like we talked about in that transition period, if you're searching for something and riding is a thing that you enjoy, well, now you have a place that you can go to, reach out to if you didn't know about it before, and maybe not have any of those negatives. If you were to reach out to a different type of club, you've got one that you got people that, did similar things.
Like I said, we know your background.
And have an interest that's outside of EOD too. Cause man, I think that's a big, important part is like having that interest that's outside of EOD, even if you have EOD as the thing that ties you initially into it. Cause this job doesn't go on forever.
No, but your badge will though, right? Like we all hold our badge.
Oh yeah,
near and dear. Like that's one thing you talk about transition is like a couple of the guys that I hang out with down there in North Carolina. It's like the badge doesn't make you. The badge allowed you to do what you did.
Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't define who you are.
Right.
What you do next is what defines you.
Yep.
And what you do with that is on you. It really is like there's guys like, hey, like, all right, like I'm done. I'm gonna go do something else. And there might be no representation at EOD, and that's fine. I'm definitely not knocking none of that. But there are some people that are like, hey, like that is the thing that ties them together.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, it's one thing I'm trying to spotlight. Like if you're doing something EOD related, like let's see how we can work together.
Yeah.
Like make this. I want to do better. I want the community to do better because like the chef's event, seeing like that, like those people come together. Like why do we go to the chef's event? I know you have to work, but but like there's man, like so something that we started doing is like going out, like finding these events that happen. Like there's I'm terrible. I went to the first time at Friday. I think it was Friday during the day. Or maybe it was Thursday, Friday. There's a thing at one of the bars down there. I've never been to this bar before. I was like, I didn't even know this thing existed over in Blue Water Bay.
Oh yeah.
There's a bar back there, and there's like an event there. Like we went and checked that out, and I was like, wow, there's EOD guys here. Like I mean, we knew they were there. That's why we went. But like just to go see it, go to the chef's event, and each thing was a little bit different. But like people go to these. Like, why do they go to them? Mm-hmm. We're all techs, man. Like, so I'm starting to see like there's different events that are happening during that weekend. You got the golf tournament. You got beforehand the 5K run. I think it's 5K.
Yeah.
The silly run where people want to go like, I don't know, swim in water and run. Like good for them. Proud of them. Do it for me next time, please. I feel like there's something else that's missing. They do, but like there's things that happen just to get, the community together. And I was like, man, like it just makes me think like, how can I do better?
Yeah. I like it too. I like the idea of reaching out to people that maybe whatever they do has nothing to do with EOD, but they are an EOD tech. Because one of the things that I would love to see, the SEALs have done it really well. They have turned their self-licking ice cream cone into everybody else licks it for them, right?
Yeah.
We one day maybe, but it does take like it takes us doing what we're doing now, right? Yeah. And then eventually maybe we can have that EOD tech that's part of Coca-Cola. And now Coca-Cola is donating a huge chunk to one of the organizations.
Because we're our own worst enemy. And I say it 100%. Within the club, like, who supports us? We do. We support ourselves. Like, okay. And I say that, don't strike me dead if you're out there listening. You're like, we give EOD Foundation a lot of money every year. And we're like, I don't know. Like, there's big companies that do support EOD, right? First one comes to mind, MedEng, right? They make our bomb suits. They support me enough. Like, how many? I personally could say I've never been blown up in the bomb suit, but I know dudes that have. So yeah, I'll say they support us. But like, you're right. Like, how do we get our stuff out there so other people like, hey, we actually take interest in what you're doing?
Yeah, and it does take it. It takes sharing like interesting stories that maybe we aren't super comfortable sharing because, you know, we're Marines. The Navy's fine with it. No.
Unless you show your fault.
But it does take sharing interesting stories that can be like, you know, they don't even have to be like combat stories. That's the other thing. It's like, especially in EOD, there is some crazy cool stuff that happens.
Kickouts on a range.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And sharing those stories gets people excited that have nothing to do with EOD, but they have access in a company that is looking for, where do we donate this year? You know, and like sharing that kind of stuff. And that's like a tertiary or whatever 4 is with that word. Purpose of this podcast, I don't know either.
Well, and that's something I didn't talk about, but for sure, like, let's talk with a gentleman that we do a lot of stuff with our organization, and they gave us space, like, to do an event there. And let's talk with him, and he's like, yeah, well, end of the year we have X number of dollars that we have to give away.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's funny you say that. One thing I didn't talk about, so like, yeah, again, our purpose is to help the EOD community one way, shape, or form. Something since I get the gavel for a little bit, like, I'm like, how can we make a difference in helping people? And when I was talking to him, like, the idea became more inspired, but like, what if something I want to do is like sponsor families for like Thanksgiving? It happened to me once, and it made me think about it. Like, there's a lady that I was a younger Marine. My kid was in a daycare, and she said, hey, she came to this organization and said, I want to help the poorest family with Thanksgiving. I'm just going to say it that way because it makes me feel good, even though it wasn't. I was like, ma'am, like, you're wrong. Like, I'm not the poorest one here. She's like, you're an E4, your base salary is this. And I was like, so? Like, don't judge me. But it turned into something. This lady, and I was like, she bought us like a whole Thanksgiving meal. And I wasn't worried about Thanksgiving by any means, but just that gesture of like someone doing that for me. And I was talking to this individual, and I was like, ooh, what if the club could partner with somebody and do this for somebody for Thanksgiving? Mm-hmm. What if we do it for Christmas too? Like, the 2 times, like, we've talked about like things that stress people out. Holidays, how am I going to provide for my family? We talked about like things that burdens people take on. Like, so I guess a little slip note right here, like, if you know somebody, hit us up on our socials. I'm all about, like, send us information on people that you think might be deserving for a Thanksgiving meal, and I'll work on trying to make that happen.
That'd be awesome.
I think it would be. Like, the feeling I got from it still resounds with me to that day, and the relationship that it created was huge. I didn't know this lady from Boo at all. She's down in Palm Springs. My first thought was like, who is this lady with a lot of money wanting to give it to us at Tornado Palms? Like, but like, getting to know her story and like how that all worked out, I was like, man, like, I was touched. And I didn't need to ask for help by any means. And it's like, wow, like, well, here I am. I'm in a position where like I feel I'm with this organization. We can do that. Something new. We haven't done it before. So something I want to do.
That's cool.
It's about giving back.
Yeah. I like that. I think that's, man, giving back. That's kind of a good spot to end, actually. Like
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. No, that's, again, appreciate coming on, chatting about, the club and like really identifying the purpose of the club. Cause I think that's something that, is important to know. So
It's definitely important for me, for us.
yeah.
And I think it's important to the community to know, like, hey, this is what we do. Honestly, this is what we do. This is, our stuff. So appreciate you having us on.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you drinking some of our George Dickel.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I'll pass that along.
All right. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Echo Oscar Delta podcast, where we talk to Navy EOD techs and hear the stories that they want to share.